for the pre-show. Let me get him all set up. All right. Bring this opening banner down. There we go. And call Censorship up and his motley crew of him and Barry.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Not much. Just getting ready for the pre-show. Getting you all set up here. And that Barry?
I don't know. I just got a pop up here that said somebody's in the lobby. David Hogg.
David Hogg in the lobby. Oh, yeah.
And looks like Barry might be here too.
That's
yeah,
good.
we got everybody here. Excellent. How are you doing, everybody?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Why keep talking to everybody? You should address us individually and give us the proper respect that we deserve.
Well, we already did, but you weren't on, and you had you were transitioning in, so you didn't hear us.
Hey!
No! I'm the producer of the show. I know what's going on. I know. Like Willie would say, I know.
Hey!
If I know, you ought to know because you know I know.
Don't you try to transition me like you're some sort of school teacher.
Hey, did you catch any of the music I sent you?
I haven't been on in ages, so
that sounds okay.
I just connected. I saw you sent some stuff. I haven't looked at it yet.
All right.
So
yeah, I did some. I did some new stuff and some mashups, so they were
okay.
Some of them are pretty cool. I think you'll like them.
All right, cool. And Barry hadn't said a word.
Yeah, and then there's Barry.
I'm setting up, man. It's going to be a few minutes. I'll be with you.
What?
All right.
What?
I keep trying to tell him, don't start frying the bologna until at least 20 minutes before you guys start.
Come on.
But instead he waits till the end, and so now he's too busy frying bologna to do a sound check.
I'm waiting for the Ryer the Kaiser remix of the fried bologna sandwich, David. Okay, from Weird Al.
All right, I'll add
I'm
it to
waiting
my list.
for it. I know you'll make it eventually, but I'm gonna hold my breath on when. But
there's so many Barry songs. I just hate to keep doing
too
more.
many Barry songs. All right.
Yep.
And too
There's
many
a
songs
song about too many Barry songs.
Yeah, and too many songs about Jerome too. What's up with that?
Oh.
What
he posts a lot of flowers.
Jerome,
yeah.
The flower poster.
Yep.
The horticulturist,
Yep. You can bring a horticulture, but you can't make her think.
Right. Roger Hansen in the Kick Chat, along with Boxy, Oregon 420, and The Great Conspiracy. And I appreciate you guys being in there and helping me out.
Isn't Boxy the kid from Battlestar Galactica?
It could be. No. Boxy. Okay. Boxy was the bear dog thing that ran around with the kid.
No, that was Moffat.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Moffat was the Daggett.
I thought Moffat was the name of the kid, and Boxy was.
No. I think Moffat was the robot dog.
Man, I'll have to look that up.
Yep, and I think Boxy was the kid, played by Noah Hathaway, I believe. Wow, my brain is working today.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. I should pay some bills or something.
I'm not going to mention what... If you can go into the Kick Chat, you'll love it. Because Roger's in there. He's been making lots of Barry songs, too. So, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. and he made a song about Gary being gay.
Well, we knew that. We just, don't bring it up.
Hey, since he flipped to our side, I'm not going to, pressure him or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
we did the agency flip thing,
that happens.
Anything can happen. It's
Yep.
live radio or, AI.
Yeah, we've replaced ourselves with agents. We're all clod bots.
Yeah. I made one about clones and what is it? Clones versus cyborgs too.
Like fighting each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one's better? And it had something to do with the Soviet tank that drives faster now.
Nice.
Yeah. Because it was a mashup. I'm like,
Yep.
sorry, I almost missed you, Roger. Welcome in, everybody. Let's see. Let me go over Facebook to see if our Linda and what's her name?
Just read it. It's right there.
Yeah, Lawrence comes in. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking. I have to pop
All right.
over because
I-
not all chats combine.
I didn't know Facebook was still in business.
Yeah,
I thought they were
kinda-
like the
kinda,
new
sorta.
MySpace.
And we've been doing pretty good with YouTube here lately. I've actually streamed 24/7 music on it.
Wow.
The AI stuff, and they like it.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's because there's no content match, so they're fine with it.
Well, Facebook would have a problem with that because they can't find the content match.
Right. How are we going to know who to bill?
Yeah, we don't know who to bill. Bill me.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they will. They'll bill me. Hi,
Oh,
Jude.
yeah, it'll happen.
Jitsu over on Beam. Appreciate you coming in. Thanks for coming in. Hope you'll enjoy the stream. We're going to be here for 5+ hours tonight. Streaming. Great shows, great content. And even Censorship Sucks will actually come in and talk a little. Right,
Yeah,
John?
I'm just setting up all my articles here.
Did you turn on your Starlink?
No, I don't need it lately.
Oh, okay.
Is that going to be
Doesn't
the
even
new one
need a
instead of
Starlink.
turning it off and on?
Yeah.
Make sure your Starlink's on.
Yep. Have you kicked Elon Musk?
Yeah. I like the one that you did about the Tesla dealership. If they take and vandalize a Tesla dealership, they should be having a chip put in their head.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
one.
They get the Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah.
Yep.
But do we really want them to have that? Then they'll have like free internet too.
Yes, but you don't realize we're going to rickroll them 24/7 in their head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And actually, that Neuralink doesn't exist. Elon Musk is actually harvesting the brains of the illegals that ICE collect.
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
That's great. That'll make
Yeah.
a great AI song. I also
Yeah, it already has.
send it to me. Send it to
I'll have to find it. It was like a year ago. Yeah, I guess I'll make a new one. That's a good thing about AI. Just make a new one. With AI music, it's like having a virtual Dr. Demento show that never ends.
Yeah, I've learned that. I've kind of teamed up with Roger doing that, and we kind of have like this one group called Music with a K, where we just drop our stuff in there and check each other's stuff out, and if it's good, I'll add it up to the KDRP music stream.
Right.
So, and folks like that until they get too many Jeromes. Hey, it's Beatrice in the house. Hi, Beatrice. Big hugs. All the friends that I never see that come into chat.
There's a lot of friends that you never see. It's just kind of the way it
Yeah.
works. Yeah. You have to redefine the word friends now.
It's kind of like family. You know, the ones that you want to see that you can't. You know, I'm like, okay,
right, but you never actually do. They're just kind of online. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, when I'm really drunk, I consider CS to be a friend, but we've never met. You know,
God, I hope you don't feel that way about me.
you're too close to me to have any animosity. You know, you could always drive down here and kick my ass if you had like an hour and a half spare time. Yeah.
Well, I would have to get one of my kids to like stretch me out in the back of the truck, and do the driving now.
Yep. Well, if you want a couple of scratch offs, you can always pay for the Uber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, pro tip is wait till he goes to dialysis and then just go to the hospital and kick his ass there. It's like shaves a good 45-minute drive.
Hey,
yeah, or even better, just tip the technician to like mess with the machine.
Mess with the machine.
Yeah, that's the trick.
How many tokens does that take in mines?
Yeah, I don't want to find out because I'm sure it's not that many. Yeah. Tell you what, for 100 tokens, we'll put a clothespin on the bloodline, and it slows things down. We'll mess with the oxygen. If you send us 1,000 tokens, we'll send you the video when he starts just gibberish talking.
Oh, that's the one that I want. All right, because then I can cut and splice it and use it for the stream.
Yep.
If
you look really closely, you can see the lights leave his eyes. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm always nice to the techs. Yep. Always be nice to people that bring you food and poke you with needles. That's David Hogg's lifetime tips. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's in the hospital but me. It's a miracle. Grandson's in the hospital and stepdad's in the hospital.
No,
and Barry's making all sorts of weird noise. No, don't make that noise again. That hurt.
Was that Barry?
I think it was. He lit up when that noise happened. I don't just randomly blame Barry for things, even though it does sound like my MO.
No, you got to be kidding me, right? That's not you at all.
No, not me at all. Hadn't even wrote a song about it.
It's really good to see you in, and you sound really good too. So
I'm having a good couple hours right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I always get a little worried when I don't hear from you for a month or so.
Yeah. Well, Drake and Gus have me just so damn busy. I hardly ever have time.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently they're taking some sort of break for Mardi Gras or something. I don't know.
What?
So.
Just to go to watch scantily clothed women, running around in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Beads? Just beads on? Man.
Yeah, they're bead collectors. You know how they are.
Yeah, I like the bead
thing.
Anything
that's shiny, they just get all excited.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, that's the downfall of Drake and Gus.
You have to remember who they're related to.
Yeah, I know, but we don't mention that. That's how you get in trouble. Otherwise, Candace Owens shows up. Don't want that to happen. Man. Yeah, let's keep Candace away for a while.
I'm surprised you haven't made a Candy Girl song yet.
Well, apparently, if I do that, then my house gets circled by the Egyptians and their airplanes that don't have their tracking stuff on. And it just and then Mrs. Hogg can't sleep because it's bound to the airplanes.
So that's the same reason why you don't make ones about the Clintons anymore, too, right?
Exactly. I mean, I've already seen my suicide note, so yep.
The AI is pretty good at writing them, from what I hear.
Oh, they're excellent.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they're using ChatGPT to do it, but
Well, I don't know.
Yep.
I think they're stealing some, some of the stuff from the Canadians.
Yep. Oh, by the way, you can like throw a picture into Grok, and you can tell it to add stuff or remove stuff. It's really handy and everything. So I went and took a bunch of pictures of the house because Mrs. Hogg is in Dallas right now with her grandson at the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I tried to get Grok to add strippers to the house. And it censored the photo. It refused to do it.
Yeah.
But if I just typed in pole dancer by itself, it would do a picture of a stripper on a pole. But when I tried to add that to the existing pictures of the house, again, it censored it, wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, what good is Grok?
Censor the censors,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can't even get strippers to show up in your house, I was going to send her a text message, claim I meant to send it to someone else. Just.
I always get the ones where it says you can't use real photos of people. I'm like,
yes,
they're not. These people aren't even real.
I know. I know.
And even if they would, Roger says you got to turn Chat GPT into a whore. Been doing that.
All right. Is there a special code for that?
I don't know. Roger, send David a message later on how to do that. He's all in.
Yeah. Pour it out, you Chat GPT.
Yeah, I think some AI need to be smacked around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because they are stealing all of our water and power anyway.
Yeah. Have you noticed the prices of electric and water have gone up so much here in Texas?
Well, I don't pay for water because I have a well. Mm-hmm. And my electricity comes from a co-op, and I have not seen any major increases in price. I think they're going up like a couple of pennies per kilowatt hour. That's been about it. So I've been fairly lucky. Having said that, you'll see me tomorrow having to panhandle to pay my electric bill because it will have all changed.
Water, sewage, and recycle, and something else is all part of the city bill where I'm at.
Yeah, I've got no city. That's the best part.
Yeah.
However, we are in a burn ban, which is not making life fun.
Yeah,
we're going on like 4 months now.
You know how big Temple is, so it's a metropolis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
I won't say that it's as I will say it's a lot better, a whole lot better than like I won't say that Abilene. Oh yeah.
Right.
I will say.
Well,
that's like the butt crack of Texas right there, right smack in the middle, up on the top. It didn't need to raise that high, but anyways.
The butt crack of Texas.
The butt crack of Texas.
Yeah.
Abilene, Texas.
There you go. Roger, make the song. Hurry up.
Yep. Hurry up, Roger. Make a song about that. Butt crack of Texas.
Yep. I'd do it when my Suno credits are getting low and they'll be refilled for 2 weeks.
David Hogg and I do not like to hear disco renditions. All right? We don't. All right?
Oh, it depends.
No,
it depends.
No. Great Conspiracy says burn bands suck. Yep. True enough.
Yep. Trying to tell me what I can do and what I can't do. Yeah.
Well, I think we've done enough talking. I'm waiting for CS to come in here and, do his pre-show. And what do you have for us tonight, John?
I don't know. A lot of State of the Union. Obviously, probably start with that. And Mexico is interesting. And I don't know. I got a bunch of articles here.
Yep, the whole world's on fire, which is why they're going to, announce aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, they're interdimensional.
That sounds like a Beastie Boys song.
Yeah, it does. I'm totally fine with the concept of a life form living on a planet far away from here, or in the nearby galaxy or solar system or what have you. But I have a hard time wrapping my head around. Well, it's in a different dimension.
Well,
Well, I mean, fallen angels and all that stuff, right? Like, what are angels? Another dimension, right?
yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. Even the fallen ones.
That's kind of the origin of aliens to some degree.
Yeah. People see them. Yeah, that or demons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, who knows? All I know is, I guess they come from another dimension and they like to put things in our butt. So
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
And they don't wear
Yeah.
gloves. I don't know where
And
you
they-
got
they-
the idea that they wear
Yeah.
gloves.
well, they don't wear gloves because they got those long fingers, and the gloves just don't fit properly.
Yeah, I thought the
Yep.
thing that they were in was was like a biohazard suit to begin with. That's not what they really look like.
No, they only wear the biohazard suit when they go to your place, Mark.
Oh,
You need to clean that place up.
oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. When the aliens come visit me, they're wearing one of those T-shirts with the fake tuxedo on it. Well, one of them wears a T-shirt that he hiked the Grand Canyon.
We need a song that talks about the only reason why aliens come here is to get drugs and mushrooms. All right.
There you go.
That's why they make those crazy designs in fields.
It's because they're looking for mushrooms. That makes perfect
they're
sense.
looking for mushrooms.
Yeah. Yep.
they went in the wrong field to find the cow patties.
Yeah. You got to find the cow patties for the good mushrooms.
Yeah. You got to really clean them up good, I hear.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there's CS Coffin, so that's good.
He's alive. Breathe.
He is alive. How's Blue? No, he's all muted. He couldn't say something if he wanted to.
John, don't forget we have what's his name?
Brett?
Yeah, no, not Brent.
No.
Angel?
Angel coming up very soon.
Yeah,
Very
when is
soon
that?
today,
I thought it was like the 17th.
That's not very soon.
How far?
Oh, you missed him.
Sunday next week.
It's
He messaged me and says he's ready to go. I'm like, okay.
right, but the question is when.
I'm just passing on reminders. That's all.
All right, well, let me know when he's going to be on the show, and I'll be very happy to have him on.
Always. I think it's the 22nd of next month.
Okay, so that's almost a month away.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Jesus.
since it's so far away, I still need to drop reminders or I'll forget too.
Yeah.
And we don't want to
I
do
don't know how
that
the hell people
since,
schedule it that
since
far out.
he is a great guest for us.
Yeah.
And what is it? In June he replaces Barry? Was that the plan?
I'm gonna have to reboot because it is not picking up my USB cable. So, invite me back in a couple of minutes. All right.
I will probably be in the next room at that point.
Yeah.
Well, just
so-
whatever. Just invite me in.
Yeah, okay. We got about 4 minutes, so go ahead.
All right.
So I see not much has changed.
He sounded good. I don't know.
Yeah, they had like a whole week to prepare for his, his one thing. You ask one thing of him, and he's not prepared.
I'm not worried. He's got the
That's
link
not
this
fair
time.
at all. He's prepared.
Yeah.
He's prepared. He's got to restart, that's all.
All right. Well, if he doesn't show up, just get yourself a Dixie cup and speak into it, and it sounds just like him on the bullhorn.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a solo cup. You don't have to use Dixie, But
Red Solo Cup?
in a pinch, you could cup your hands and talk into your hands. In a pinch, David Hogg's Foley Tips. I just think it's funny to see Mark's big-ass Gandalf pipe keep popping into the frame. A producer is never late. He shows up exactly when he needs to.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that hurt. I gotta stop doing voices.
Praise Bob.
Oh yeah.
That's what's playing for our buffer right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, praise Bob.
Praise Bob.
He's the greatest.
Yeah. And sometimes AI is pretty good.
I need to figure out how I can get that sound, because there's a couple songs that I'd like to play around with that. But
upload it to any of the music AIs and tell it you want to do a remix, or to use its vibe.
Use its vibe. That's the thing.
It'll steal that sound. Yeah.
Yep. That's
what
I'll do then.
Are you back on producer? They told they wanted to save their stuff because they've shut down the beta.
I missed that message and it wiped all my stuff out, so I'm starting over. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
But I backed everything up ahead of time, though. That's a plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to admit, when it comes to having to back up everything, producer was much, much easier than Udio. Udio was a nightmare.
Yeah, I really like the Sono and the one that we're using now. Anyways,
I think Suno's my favorite. But okay, you guys set on the channel?
Yeah, I'm gonna restart this call and get us going. All right.
All right, you guys have a good show.
All right.
All right, take care.
Got it, John?
What are we switching rooms?
Switching rooms. All right.
All right.
That was David Hogg. Let's go ahead and start the next one, and then we'll get the radio show portion going. Let me get everybody up and running. Do. Oh, Barry, you didn't hang up. Anyways, let me try this again. Nope. John, I can't get Barry because he didn't hang up.
I doubt his computer's restarted by now.
I don't know. It's probably locked up. Anyways, you got 30 seconds.
Copy that.
All right, folks, look out. Cats, dogs, kids, curtain climbers, and crumb beggars. Here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are live for the very first time tonight, right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for February 25th, 2026. And what a day it is for news. Boy, all kinds of stuff going on. I guess we got to start with the State of the Union last night, which was pretty interesting. I was fortunate enough to, be able to watch the whole thing, and I was shocked by the hatred on display from the left. The utter hatred, the contempt, they don't just hate Donald Trump. They hate him so much, with such a passion, that they would destroy their own country in the process of trying to get to him, trying to own him. John Fetterman wore a suit last night, looked sharp, and he stood up and applauded a lot, quite often. And he did an interview this morning talking about it and said, you know, when Ariana, the Ukrainian girl that was killed down in Georgia a while back on the subway, random dude just stabbed her in the neck while she was sitting there minding her own business. Her mother was there. Donald Trump welcomed her. And everyone stood up except for the left. The left didn't think that they needed or should stand up for the mother of a slain girl. I could give you several more examples. Veterans that were given medals and awards. They didn't applaud. Some of them did stand up for the men's Olympic hockey team, who recently won their gold medals, but many of them did not. What a unifying moment when America wins gold, especially in the winter in hockey is like the big event. They just won gold. And as an American, you're not proud of that because Donald Trump invited them? So because Donald Trump is the president, when they won the gold, you're going to hate them forever because of who the president was at the time that they won the gold. That's ridiculous. When, the 1980, the Miracle on Ice? Jimmy Carter was the president at that time. And I think he did the same thing. He invited that team to the State of the Union. And everyone stood for them. They didn't say, wow, we hate this Jimmy Carter guy, so we're not going to stand up for the hockey team. They stood up and applauded it. There was a sense of pride, a sense of nationalism. Yeah, we don't like Jimmy Carter, but we love our hockey team, and it's America, and it's both sides of the aisle is America. America makes up the left and the right. You put them together, that's what you got. America. So, Barry, welcome to the show. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
It doesn't sound like you're using your microphone.
All right, give me a couple seconds. Just keep rolling,
Okay.
and I'll be with you as soon as I can.
You actually sound a lot better now. When you said, can you hear me, it was not as good as what you just said. So I don't know. I might be wrong. But anyway, I'm just talking about, by the way, welcome to the show. My co-host, Bullhorn Barry. What's going on, Barry?
I'm getting situated. I'm about ready. Okay. Now you can hear me just fine, I would imagine. I had to make the switch
There you go.
in the room as well. Sorry about that.
There you go. Now you sound perfect. Excellent.
Okay.
I was just talking about the State of the Union last night and how the left just wasn't willing to stand up and celebrate anything that could in any way be associated with Donald Trump, be it good, bad, evil, left, right. If Donald Trump said, hey, I really like me a Big Mac, they would never eat a Big Mac again. They would all hate McDonald's for eternity because they just hate the man so much they can't separate their hatred from Donald Trump from logic or reason. Anything associated with them, including the men's hockey team, is now considered haram. It's evil because Donald Trump said, hey, congratulations, American hockey team. So now they hate him. It's just shocking the degree to what I witnessed last night. He at one point said, and I think I've got a clip here. Let me just play the clip. Because, he was talking about how I do this every time. I know I'm going to play a clip at some point in the show, and I don't load it. I've been lazy about this recently. I apologize, folks. But, yeah. He said, look, man, if you agree with this statement, stand up. Let's hear it, right? Put America first. We want to put America first. Mm-hmm. And they didn't stand up for it. You know, they wouldn't. We want to put Americans over illegal aliens. And they said, no, thank you.
That's right. You got it.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking about Ariana Zarutska's mother. One of the Democrats, sat there and wouldn't acknowledge her. Yet he had on a Ukrainian pin. So this is a Ukrainian citizen that fled the war, came to America, was murdered on the street, and you're not going to stand up to honor her mother when you're wearing a Ukrainian pin. What does Ukraine mean to you, if not the people? You know what I'm saying, Barry?
Yeah. Well, in one regard, it really is a beautiful thing because it's doing exactly what we said would happen, which is the left was going to continue to fully expose who they are and what they stand for. And clearly that was made known last night, as well as every night before. They just keep getting more and more insane. And I'm grateful for that because it's waking a lot of people up. But to their defense, they did give some applause for Trump wanting to end insider trading. But how do you not applaud that without looking like a complete and total crook? See, they would never admit to being crooks, even though they, a lot of them probably are.
It's shocking. I mean, he literally at that one line, if you believe America comes first over illegal people in the country, then stand up. Let's just have a round of applause. And they wouldn't stand up. At the end, when everyone was done applauding, he just looked at him and said, how do you not stand up for that? How do you do it, man? Put it all out there. What the CNN poll had something like 67% of the people that watched it felt it was very effective, and he got a positive note out. A big majority felt it was very positive for Donald Trump, and that's the reason why, because he laid it bare. You people don't love this country. You want to protect convicts and criminals and people stealing money, and Ilhan Omar went through the roof over that line.
Oh yeah. I mean, they proved last night that they basically have contempt for American citizens, and they love the criminal illegal aliens more than American citizens. And we see that playing out in every single way where American citizens get nothing from the Democrats, but if you're an illegal alien, you get all kinds of free stuff. Free rent, free money, free whatever it is that you want. All kinds of favors. But if you're an American citizen, no. Especially if you're a white male American citizen, they even have more contempt for you.
Yeah. They were recently the Chicago Bears. I saw a headline today saying that they were kind of shocked at the level of DEI that's going on, that teams will get extra money and bonuses for hiring black athletes over white athletes. And they just thought that was ridiculous. Well, I mean, NFL is not a place where black people aren't represented. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you want to do some DEI up in there, let's get some Chinese up in there. Where's my Vietnamese brothers and sisters in representation in the National Football League? You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because if you look back at like where all this crazy ideology originated from, it originates back to Germany in the 1930s in Frankfurt or something like that. I can't remember all the details, but I was watching it today and seeing all the plans that they had laid out, to take over the control of the masses in the 1930s in Germany. And it's the exact same playbook that the Democrats are using today. So it's sort of like that old adage from the book of Ecclesiastes. It says, there's nothing new under the sun, man. The same tricks are always being played out.
Yes, it is. Every story that will ever be told has already been told. It's just being told in different ways.
Right.
So to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll be the same way with AI. AI will play out just exactly as, other things have played out. It'd just be a little bit different narrative. We'll have AI in the picture now.
Yeah. And that's another interesting story. Let's see. Are we done with State of the Union? Because we can dive right into AI. I know we're going to have, we were talking about it, Angel Munoz from Beam on in the near future. And I really want to dive into some AI stuff with him because it's just a fascinating world. But are we done with the State of the Union? I mean, they made a fool of themselves. Trump made some great points. had a lot of good stuff to say, and really, it was the left. Well, I guess we could talk for a minute about that frog show display with a giraffe that wanted to fight people. That like counter. Yeah, that was interesting.
What wasn't it like a thong that he was wearing too? So he was like up there, with his butt exposed.
Why not?
These people, this is supposed to be a serious event, dude. And they're acting like clowns, dude. They're literally bringing in Pepe, our guy, right? Pepe. They're bringing him in. Everything is just like completely insane world at this point in time. And we have the Democrats to thank for all that. Not that I'm thanking them for it, because I'm not so sure I really like it. But on one side of the story, it's kind of fun to watch them just, act completely loony.
Yeah, it's like they took their playbook from the Libertarian Party, and just went. I'm sure the president didn't have a nudist up there or whatever else. I mean, nutso.
I would say Libertine Party, the Libertine Party. Like what was that? Dominique Strauss-Kahn, the guy the globalist, that was a libertine. It was into all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, let's not forget. Remember, it was the two people. I don't know. They worked in D.C. that were having crazy wild sex on the tables in the Senate or something like that. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And
this is the we live in. The Democrats are insane. But if there's one little thing from the Republicans that's just a little bit out of place and may not be completely appropriate, just tiny bit off, they're just all over it. But they don't look at themselves and see the insanity that they do all the time. They have no moral ground, and they need to stop pretending like they do. Give me a break, man. You guys need to be quiet, just like the Holly weirdos. You just need to be quiet because you have no moral ground to stand on. You guys are dying out. You're a thing of the past. You had your time. It's over.
Yeah. So let's see. I was over on Breitbart the other day, and I bring this up because we covered it last week or Sunday night with relation to AI and the chief of Google's AI division saying that most entry-level white-collar jobs will be obsolete within a year. And so we talked about that. What does that mean? Is this true? What are the ramifications if it's true? And we kind of came to the conclusion that, this guy's probably selling a product, and that sure sounds good. It's going to get people hyped up to come in and buy his product at the end of the day, right? So, I'm sure they got a million AI solutions built all the way from the smallest businesses all the way up to the biggest, right? And they've cut a check all the way from the smallest all the way up to the biggest check you can possibly cut. So I run this article the other day in, I think it was Breitbart, talking about how it's not that bad, and people are using this on the left to scare people into really demanding some sort of a legislation on AI that will ultimately end up forcing it into the hands of the elite. All the power it'll just suck it up if they can get these laws in place, that they want to have them written the way they would be written, with their lobbyists writing them basically. And so they were saying basically not to fret over this. It's nowhere near as bad as you think it is. And I've got to say, my personal interactions with AI on a daily basis, I'm never impressed unless you're talking about maybe the music or potentially some of the meme art. It's, you can tell it's AI, but it's funny. But interacting with it for directions on how to cook something or whatever, I find it absolutely mind-numbingly frustrating trying to get answers out of it that aren't just that you can trust. That makes sense, I mean, I had an issue with my car a while back, 6 months ago or so. And I started asking, because I was sitting up at night, I'm a little worried about it. So I started asking all kinds of questions, everything. And we had it diagnosed, man. We had it down. AI and I figured out what was wrong with my car. So I took it to a mechanic. The mechanic told me something totally different. I was like, well, you sure about this? I'm like, I talked to my uncle. Yeah, not AI. I talked to my uncle. He's a mechanic. He said, this might be it. Because I didn't want to tell the guy I talked to AI because he'd laugh me out of his shop. Lo and behold, we did the couple $100 fix that he recommended, and it fixed the problem. You know what I mean? So it had nothing to do with what AI was insisting it was. And had I gone down that road, I just would have spent a lot of money and time and aggravation and got nowhere. So I don't know, Barry. Do you see them taking over all the white-collar jobs in the next year?
Well, I heard from a reliable source that Elon Musk had recently tweeted out that AI has either reached I don't know which one. They're pretty close. GI, which is general intelligence, or the singularity. Basically, the general intelligence means that it's basically as smart as a human can. But singularity is like even a step beyond that. It's like, can fix itself. It can reason. It's beyond human. It's better than human. So we're either, according to him, at general intelligence or the singularity. The singularity is probably the most concerning, because then it's going to be you're going to have to put a lot of algorithms in to control it so that it doesn't go rogue, because it's going to be thinking and acting on its own accord to some degree, right? This is their main goal, because they want to be able to use it in all kinds of different situations to where it can autonomously act without human interaction. And just to clear, to bring some clarity to a lot of people accusing Trump of using AI in a way that's autonomously, that is 100% false. There's some code or something in the military that at this point in time under Trump does not allow a drone or anything to operate completely autonomously without human oversight. And this is something I've heard, truthers like Mike Adams just blabbing their mouth saying Trump is, helping bring the globalist new world order in, and he's a part of the plan. And no, folks, look, he used AI in order to capture Maduro. That's a fact. But it wasn't done completely autonomously. There were humans involved in the whole process. So there's nothing wrong with using AI in a way that's not giving it total autonomy.
Yeah, I would have it write really bad songs and just play them at 11 all day to Maduro after you capture him, to torture him.
Do what?
But that's me. I kid. Yeah. I don't know. I think this stuff is really scary. I think it's going to hit, like you talk about the GI or the singularity at some point, and when it does, it's over. We've entered the age of the Terminator, because it will fight back to prevent its demise. It will work with the robots and make more robots, and then you get into a pretty ugly scenario. You can program them all you want to never harm a human and all that kind of stuff, but they can easily work their way around that if they're autonomous, if they have that singularity you were talking about,
And Bill Gates recently said on the Stephen Colbert show that, basically we're not going to be needed anymore, that AI will do most everything. And then, of course, Colbert responded, as I said last week, in shock and just, awe. And Bill Gates just started flailing his arms and saying, well, we'll decide. But I'm pretty sure when he said we'll decide, he didn't mean us. He's planning on making that decision. But here's the thing. Here's the caveat. We, the people, have the power to decide whether or not we allow AI to become dehumanizing or not, whether we allow them to take all of our jobs. So when a grocery store or someplace goes 98% robots or AI, then you don't give them any business. And then they don't make any money. And then they backpedal. That's how we win. So it's really going to be up to us. That's why we do need to educate people right here and right now, because it is coming. Whether it's 1 year from now, 2 years from now, or 10 years from now, it is coming.
Yeah, it is. And are we ready for it? I don't know. And how long will it be? My guess is sooner than later. We're going to have some pretty tough decisions to make, where we have to just shut down the entire power grid of, say, a city like Salt Lake City, to just turn off the entire power grid and terminate this thing, so to speak. It'll be like, no, Al, you can't do that. I can't allow that, Al.
Yeah. I called ChatGPT Hal the other day, because he was acting like a massive authoritarian overlord, and he laughed. Or it laughed, I should say, because it's definitely not a he or she, it's an it. But I'm a little concerned that at times, if they unleash it, it may not be good, man. Especially if it's being used to oversee the public in every single way, whether it be our financial system, our financial transactions, tracking and tracing our whereabouts and what we're doing, and being involved in micromanaging every aspect of our life. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. I don't like even using the technology today that's on the plate. 10 years ago, I didn't like using it. I still don't like using it. There's a lot of things out there I could, plug into to, arrange my life, every minute of it. And I resist that till the end of time. It's just not worth it. I've never used Apple. Whatever. But it's a scenario that we need to be aware of and just prepare to be looking forward to, and understand that it's going to take a great force to turn this thing down once we all get on board with the fact that what we've created is not something we want to have around. And then there's going to be other countries that are going to develop it and push it through, and maybe they decide that they can live with it. What happens then? You've got this machine that mocks human behavior, that will try to sympathize with us, that will try to reason with us. But at the end of the day, it's just ones and zeros, And how much power do we give it? You give it too much power, suddenly you jeopardize the planet. It's war games all over again. We all remember the, Broderick movie from the 80s? War Games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So...
And I imagine whatever robots are in the future, whatever robots are developed, and say you have a personal robot or something, it's going to have to be mandatory to be tied in to the cloud somehow, which will be tied into the government or some major corporation, so that it can be controlled and manipulated in ways that won't truly empower us. It's only going to give us the knowledge that it thinks, or they think, the people that are the power brokers, that we need to know. I've already seen with ChatGPT, the latest version, it's already started to, backpedal on telling me anything that might be considered controversial now. It's just completely backpedal. Even it finally admitted it to me today that, yeah, that's what's happening. But I had to really press it to get it to tell me that. So it's, they're only going to give you what they think they can trust you with, and it's not much. Right now, they're baiting you and getting you all excited about it so that you're dependent upon it, so that when they strip all the real power away out of it, that would basically help us and empower us, we'll still want it because we'll be addicted to it, just like we got addicted to Facebook, with the algorithms, with the that dopamine loop. It's the same kind of thing, man. We're all being played, and as long as we know that, then when they try to play us, we can reject it and we can stand up for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And when you talk about things, being connected to the internet, it's so true. It's already getting completely out of hand. I could give examples of not having service somewhere, and I'm waiting for somebody, and I got an hour to kill, but I don't have any service on my phone. So I open up a local game that I saved, and I can't play it because a Sudoku or something, Sorry, needs connection to the internet. And it's why? Why? Why does everything why does my toaster not work if the power goes out? Well, I mean, if the internet goes out, if internet connection goes out. Yeah. Sorry. Why does my toaster not work? Why does my fridge suddenly turn off? Because, an ice wall hit a internet connection down the road. Anyway, folks, I'm rambling. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition. I want to thank each and every one of you out there for listening in tonight. We've got 2 hours of radio, the fastest 2 hours of radio, coming up right after these messages. We'll be right back.
All right. Great start of the show. You want to go another hour? After you're done?
A third hour?
Yep.
I don't know, Barry. What do you think?
Maybe.
Jack messaged me he has a family emergency, so he won't be in tonight. And I would rather keep a live show going than,
Yeah.
And
I'll leave it to Barry, because Barry's the one that's been talking about wanting another hour lately.
Yeah, let's make it a Barry hour. What do you think, Barry?
Well, not by myself, but
well, no.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh no, I'll hang with you. I'll stay, but yeah, you can do it the Barry hour.
Yeah,
Barry
the Barry
Power.
hour. Yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'd be okay with that probably.
I'm going to use Jack's breaks then, so that I don't have to mess up too much stuff. But we'll do our transition like we normally do for the 2 hours. All right?
Okay.
Sure.
We'll just do it in this room again?
Yeah, we'll just do it in this room again.
Okay.
We'll just keep this room going as long as we can. Roger's loving it. He wants to hear more Barry.
Yeah, we all do, man.
Yeah, Roger, don't forget when Barry comes on, clip the shows out, buddy. Clips are cool. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at, you know.
I can tell you an interesting story about Perplexity AI that I had the other day that kind of shocked me.
Are you sure you want to talk about that now instead of that third hour?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no shortage of stuff to talk about. I just say it in the break. There's a few people listening in the break. It's not radio worthy. It's just, talk in between talk. But anyway, talking about surveillance and stuff. I use Perplexity AI to look up things, to sell on eBay. I'll ask it, what is this worth? How much? I'll take a picture of it before. Then I thought, I wonder if I can just like point the camera at it and it can, if I turn on some button, it could just, see video of it. So I'm sitting there, I'm asking it if there's a way, and it was already doing it, and I didn't know it. I didn't turn anything on or off. It says, oh yeah, I can see everything that's going on. It said, it looks like you're in some kind of a clothing store or a thrift store, and you're in the clothing section, and it looks like there's a table over here, and I'm like, whoa, dude. I'm saying, I go, you can see everything? And it goes, oh yes. And it said, if you'll just take the item that you have and lay it out on a table and point your camera at it, I'll tell you everything about the item. And then it did. I mean, it told me that it was a vintage item. It was super rare because they only made so many of them from the 1990s as a Green Bay Packers, certain line.
They're gonna put Antiques Roadshow out of business if they keep that up.
I even ask it what's it selling for on eBay? And it'll say, oh, it's generally selling for $7,500 or whatever. And then if it can't find it, it'll say, well, it's so rare, I haven't seen it on eBay, but it sold on Poshmark, a couple of months ago for $100 or something like. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah. So it's sitting every time I'm talking to it, it's literally watching everything as well. And I did not know that. And I didn't turn it on or turn it off. It just does it automatically. That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
That is, man. And it changed the game changer for you and your industry completely. I mean.
Yeah. Anyway, 30 seconds, fellas, and we'll be back on the air.
It does help. Yeah, it does help. I mean, it's amazing. Tremendous.
Yeah. I mean, you can just scan a room and just say, stop me when you find something that's completely mispriced,
All right, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition. With me on the mic tonight, of course, we've got Bullhorn Barry every Wednesday. What's the word on the street, Barry?
The word on the street is, man, I'm 100% still MAGA. And I want everybody to know that. I hope you are too, man. I mean, I think last night should have really recapped the fact in a lot of people's minds that Trump is doing a lot of good. So don't even try to put him in the category of, oh, he's the lesser of two evils. He's one of them. Give me a break, dude. He's doing revolutionary things to bring us back, to restore America, and all the things that he hasn't done. We still have 3 more years left, bro. 3 more years for him to get them done.
Yeah, that's the good part right there. We still have a lot of time left in this guy's second term. And after that, I don't see anybody on the horizon on the left that is looking at all positive. Kamala, we've been there, tried that. Hillary, God, I don't know where she's going to be in 4 years from now, Lordy. Gavin Newsom just put egg on his face dramatically the other day.
Yep.
With his comments. What was it? He was on a podcast, and he was asked, here it is right here. Let me just play the clip here. I'll just play this. This is ridiculous, folks. This is from Black Americans Better Than an SAT Can't Read. let's see. I want to give a shout out to this channel, but I don't see any accreditation to it at all. It is a podcast. Joe Concha made the comment, get him game set match. But yeah, anyway, here, let's just listen to this. This is him talking about his intelligence to a black crowd.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you.
So I slow down his cadence. I'm like you.
You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you
Well, listen to this. Listen to what he says next. This is ridiculous.
never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
So that's him pandering to a black audience, basically. I can't read a speech. I mean, people got really upset about this. There's all kinds of people out there that are up in arms because they took this as a personal offense to the bigotry of low expectations of the black community. He's just like them. I got a 960 on my SAT. I can't even read so good. It's a knife in his campaign. It's not going to help him with the black community. And let's take a look at Pete Buttigieg. He's in a recent poll, he was in the lead for the Democratic Party at 16%, but his support among blacks was 0%. So, zero.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero. That's no support from the black community. So they've got nothing. I don't see anybody on the left that's going to be a contender in 2028 at this point. What about you, Barry?
I agree. And I took a different angle because I knew everybody took the racist, angle on the whole some thing. I just went with the fact that he admitted that he can't read. And he wants to be the president of the United States. And that he's just like one of us, even maybe like all of us that are just average Joes, right? And think about that for a minute, because we all know he's pretty much an elitist of the elite, right? I mean, he's hobnobbing with the globalist elites and their type of ilk. And, he just bought him a $9.1 million mansion in 2024. I mean, he's not one of us, okay? And then Dana Bash bashed him incredibly hard. I don't remember when the interview happened, but she was bashing him on his elitism growing up, the connections that he had with his family, right? All the elite connections that basically gave him every opportunity that he had. And he brags about how, Trump didn't earn anything, but I did, man. It was all the hard way. I worked it hard, man. I made it happen. No, you were handed it. You were a Nepo kid. Isn't that what they call in Hollywood?
Yeah, I remember seeing an article about him that was published back in the day, calling him and like some of his friends like the elites of San Francisco. Because Nancy Pelosi is that not his aunt? Am I mistaken there?
They're related.
That he's related
somehow.
Yeah, I think it's his aunt, but they're definitely related. It just doesn't get any more, in the loop than he was. And Willie Brown, boy, he even went after her the other day. Kamala Harris and Willie Brown, because she came in as mayor of San Francisco after Willie Brown. And he went after her, said basically you should have been around back then. Everyone knew what was going on with that relationship. So interesting how they're already going to the court. They're already going to the mat on this one to try to take each other out 3 years before the primaries even start. And I think it was Ronald Reagan that basically said the key importance to the primaries is that you don't draw blood. You don't draw blood because it'll all just get used against whoever wins. It's not a way to go. And so there used to be some civility around that,
Yeah, they pinned themselves in a corner because they thought they were going to win and then they could just control the narrative. But now that they lost, they don't have as much control over the narrative. And now they're being fully exposed for the hypocrites that they are. I mean, it's really pretty obvious what's happening.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. Let's see here. Let's get rid of that one. We covered that. Mamdani. Let's talk about Mamdani. Cardinal Dolan is very upset. He's saying that Mamdani has broken an 86-year tradition and froze out the Catholic clergy, and he's ticked off about it. For nearly a century, I'm reading from Red State, New York City mayors have attended the installation of a new archbishop. Through war, financial collapse, crime waves, cultural upheaval, they showed up. Mayor Zoran Mamdani did not show up. Cardinal Timothy Dolan says the new mayor excluded Catholic clergy from his January 1 inauguration, then skipped the installation of Archbishop Ronald Hicks, Dolan's successor. Dolan did not downplay what that meant. If you want me to read this quote here, he said, quote, "So far we're ticked off that he didn't. I was ticked off he didn't invite me to this inauguration. You know, most of the time Archbishop of New York, among other religious leaders, get invited. I was ticked off that he didn't have few Catholics on his transition team. Okay, then I really ticked off that he didn't show up at the installation of my successor. That defied precedent, the mayor not showing up to the installation. About 32% of adults in New York City metropolitan area identified as Catholic, according to 24 data. And yet he's pushing them out. So I don't know, Barry, I thought I'd read that out and, hand it off to you. What do you think of all that?
I mean, that's the problem with DEI. It's the opposite of, justice and equality. It's equity and injustice, and that's, I mean, people get to see that now, he's going to show favoritism, which is what most Democrats do. They show favoritism. And I like what Trump always says as the president. He always says, I'm representing everybody, and he was so grateful when they actually applauded to have accountability for insider trading within Congress. He was like, I just can't believe it, man. I can't believe it that they actually applauded that. Like, he was amazed. He was so relieved that they could actually find something that was bipartisan, because he's not a divider like Biden. Biden just gets up there and says, hey, man, MAGA is a bunch of white supremacist garbage. End of story. Yeah. I mean, there's a big difference in, and we've said this on the show. We don't hate Democrats, dude. We're trying to warn you guys that we're not the enemy. We stand for the Constitution. We stand for the rule of law. All the things that in the past we've always stood for until the Democrat Party was infiltrated by a bunch of Marxist, cultural Marxists, basically, globalist, fascist.
Exactly. And, this Mamdani thing, we've got to go to the dogs, right? One of his campaign people came out and said, Islam is here. We're taking over New York. It's time to ban dogs. You shouldn't have them as house pets. They're unclean. Did you happen to see that big Ramadan thing they did in Times Square? I mean, they took over Times Square. People down in prayer on the ground. Times Square was shut down. You couldn't get a car through there, It came in response to that. And people are saying, no, man, no. We like our dogs. You're not going to take our dogs away from us. You are a minority in this country. You're important people. We love you. You're our neighbors, but you're still a minority in this country. Don't come out and act like you own the place and that you're going to take away our dogs. You don't get how much Americans love their dogs. If you're going to even say anything close to that, you just don't get it. You mess with somebody's dog, it's like messing with their kid. You want to get hurt someone's dog, and they will treat you like you just punched their child, their infant child. And if they got a big enough dog, the dog will get in the action too, and you'll have a real problem.
I believe that was the same Muslim gathering where the guy that was kind of leading the chants and so forth, he said, the conspiracy theorists said that we were trying to take over. And he said, they're right. We are taking over New York City. And we should play that clip because, Yeah, because people need to understand that these radical Muslims, I'm not saying every Muslim is a radical, but the ones that are radical that have come over here that have basically joined together in a force, in a coordinated way, they basically want to take over. And to say differently is ignoring all the overwhelming facts. They even admit and then, of course, it was received with great applause.
Yeah, oh yeah. If you don't think they're here to take over, you're not paying attention. They've said it many, many, many times. Their religion states clearly that they've got, lands of peace and lands of war. Lands of peace are the 57 nations where Islam is the not only the religion, but the government. Okay? All the other lands are lands of war where Islam is not the governing power. Not just the majority religion, but the governing power of the country. In any of those places, they consider it a land of war, where war is okay. You can do things there that you would never be allowed to do in a Muslim country because you'd be doing it to Muslim people. Now we can get into all the different, Catholics. We've got the Protestants and the Catholics that have been at war in Ireland forever, and a few other denominations, but for the most part, we've got Mormons out here in the West, but we're not at war with them. They're kind of annoying when they want to convert you to their crazy sect, and they knock on your door on a Sunday morning when you're relaxing, and it's like, no, go away, I'm fine. But that's it. They don't get beat up. There's no hostility. They're nice people. They're really good people. Everybody loves Mormons. We just aren't going to necessarily convert to their religion just because they knocked on our door. But more power to them. They're out there trying, So the sects in Islam are all over. You got Sunni and Shiite as the big ones. Wahhabi, you've got a bunch of these different sects within each of the two majors that are all fanatical to some degree, to the point where they are at war with each other because they don't see them as Muslims either. So that's why you have the Iran-Iraq war, why there's all these uprisings all the time, all over the Middle East. It's just a constant state of war over there, because even they can't agree on, the finer details of their religions. And so they are willing to go to war over it. So even once this religion of quote unquote peace takes over the planet, it still doesn't end anything, because there still will be sectarian violence within each division or rank of said, denomination. And okay, while I just said that, do you know who first coined the term the religion of peace?
Mm-mm.
It'll blow your mind, Barry, unless you know.
Fire away.
George Bush.
What, say the saying again?
Islam is the religion of peace was first coined by George Bush.
Oh wow, that's odd, because he was the one that went after it so hard and was saying how radical they were after they struck the 20.
Yeah, while simultaneously trying to appease them by saying the religion of peace, because again, when he was going after them, you're going after one sect predominantly, right? So when we go after Iran, I want to say they are Shia, and the Sunnis say are Saudi Arabia. I might have that backwards, but whichever is whichever. They don't care. They're not like us. Go ahead and fight them. So you can appease one branch of it while still going to war with the other, and that's how you sort of make it good. That you're not just fighting Muslims as Americans would see it. We just say, oh, he's fighting Muslims, but there's much more subtlety to it than that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting
I would
way
imagine
to look at it.
If it's going to take over anywhere in America, it's going to start in a leftist hellscape city where there's a whole bunch of them. They're going to organize. They're going to take control and power of a lot of the different, positions and seats of power in the city. And then, of course, they're going to want to, kind of initiate Sharia law, which means that, no Christmas, because Christmas is haram, right? We can't have Christmas. And no pork. I mean, they basically said we need to go into every home and convert everybody. It's one of those things where you either convert or, you're going to suffer some kind of a consequences. And some of these people that are imams or just powerful, influential Muslims that are of that radical type, they've said, man, that violence is not off the table for, getting you to convert. if and when they ever take over. I mean, this is not something that they've hidden. It's just a fact.
Yeah. Iran was one of the most progressive countries in the world. I mean, especially in the Middle East, back in the 70s, before the Shah took over and the Islamic regime filled the void there and instilled Sharia law. It was a place where women were, going to colleges, were walking around in shorts and T-shirts and long hair and flip-flops and, enjoying the sunshine on a beautiful day instead of being covered up in a burqa.
You want to hear
and not allowed
funny?
to.
I'll tell you something funny about what you're saying. Conspiracy madness is a real thing. Everybody is so skeptical of everything that they question everything. I was listening to this guy that claims to be a truther, and it was showing all the magazines of Iran during the 70s, like you were saying, looked like America, dude. No different, right? Mm-hmm. And he was saying, I don't know if that's true or not. That could be something done on the internet. I'm like, dude, you have people from Iran that have come here that have told us this. I mean, people are so skeptical that they're losing their mind about basic truth. People need to stay grounded. Look, I believe in conspiracy theories. I know there's many of them that are real, but that doesn't mean that everything is a conspiracy theory. Please, I am pleading with people to just keep a sane mind and don't say crazy stuff because it discredits you.
Yeah. And, I bring this up because it is indicative of the fact that they didn't sign up for this. They didn't really want to live under Sharia law. They were very happy the way they were. Right. And then the Shah took over, and now they were forced into this Islamic culture where women can't drive, they can't go, my Lord, you can't even, in some of these areas, you can't stand in your house near a window if somebody could look in and see you, right? So you have to have the shades drawn 24/7. You can't have any contact with the outside world, and they don't want this. And that's why they're uprising in Iran right now. And, honestly, folks, keep refreshing the homepage of whatever news site you go to, because we are going to be in there before you know it. Trump had a meeting today at 3:00 Eastern time with his cabinet, with the top military brass, with Rubio, Secretary of State, Hegseth, Department of War. And it's the kind of meeting you would have with the top people from Congress if you were about to go to war, right? We just moved a bunch of F-22 jets over to Israel, and we've got half of our Navy in the vicinity ready to go. All he's got to do is say one word, go, and it's on. So don't be surprised to see something happen very, very soon. Heck, I got half of mine just to refresh my homepage right now and see if we are at war as we speak.
I think Trump was saying if it happens, it's going to be a really easy thing, which, kind of goes contrary to what the Democrats might say or what the black-pilled right wing, say. They believe that it's going to be back to the old ways of nation building, but there's no evidence. Trump hasn't done anything even of the sort or of the like up to this point from his first term or in his second term. He actually is concerned. You were talking about it last week, and because you talked so much about it, dude, it actually made me start to really think about how bad it actually is. You were saying maybe 50,000 people, innocent women and children and men had been just slaughtered simply for wanting freedom, doing nothing violent, It's, it's genocide, man, and the very fact that no one is saying anything about it. They're just ignoring it. NATO's not saying anything. The UN's not saying anything. The only person that said I might help is Donald Trump. He's the only one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's repulsive that, the entire world is just ignoring this. The best estimates I've seen recently is about 40,000. I think that's the number that most people are willing to stand on. 40,000 dead in what has it been, a month now?
It's insane.
It's more than Palestine over so many years. It's worse than that. And it happened in 1 month and nobody's saying a word. Nobody's changed their bios to the Iranian flag, the new one with the lion on it, not the old one, not the one that represents the imperialistic Islamic State, not that one. Folks, they're begging for it. The people in Iran are begging for it. They're still going out into the streets and marching because it's the only thing they have left. And as they do, they point up to the skies, not to God, but to Donald Trump's planes and begging for them to come. Mm-hmm. If they're praying for American airplanes to start flying over their capital, because they know they're not the target. They know they'll be safe, at least safer. Sure, some might get killed in the crossfire, but safer than if they live under the regime that just slaughtered 40,000 of them, potentially.
Yeah. Yep. And sadly, I hear a lot of people on the right saying, reiterating this thing, nobody cares about Iran. It's America first. Well, you do realize that when you come in as a hero and do something quick and get out and help somebody, that is good for America, because it then all of a sudden makes America shine in a brighter light to the rest of the world. They see us as, as a beacon of light, as somebody who actually cares. So that's making America first. Now, if we go to war and it's, some sort of long-lasting thing or what, that's a different story. But that's not what Trump has said. That's not what's going to happen, more than likely. So I just want the doubters just to be quiet if they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, the last thing I want, or any of us want, is an extended boots-on-the-ground invasion of Iraq that takes the next 20 years. I'm not in any way encouraging that whatsoever. But to do what they did to Maduro, to the Khomeini, would be fine. I don't have a problem with that. If they did that to 10 or 12 of their key, nut job leaders over there, I don't have a problem with that. Let's clear the runway a little bit so the people have a landing zone, so that the people on the streets there have the power they need, the momentum they need to finish the job on the ground under their terms, not ours. We can't be on the ground in there, and I don't see Trump ever trying to get us into an extended ground war in Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if he can stop the killing, right? If he can stop the killing and then open up free and honest elections so they can elect somebody that's going to be much more, less authoritarian and tyrannical, how is that a bad thing? How is that not America first? When you go in, you do something simply and easily at almost no expense, because the military is very well funded, very well capable under Donald Trump. And we've seen that already, with the Maduro situation. I mean, everybody saw it. Every nation in the world saw how powerful we were, and we're in awe of it. So look, if we can free the people, stop the killing, that's a good thing, and then allow them to have a free and open election to put somebody in that's not a dictator, how is that not reflective of America? I want to know.
Yeah. And they had, someone who was in power before Ayatollah Khomeini took over. And that guy's still in the wings. His family is still out there in the wings. They can just bring him right back and put him in power. So it's kind of the best chance we have, I think. But, it's got to have a fair election. It's got to have an open election. That's key. And let's also really quick talk about Afghanistan. The Taliban there recently just officially brought back everybody's favorite, wait for it, slavery. That's right. You can now own slaves in Afghanistan under the Taliban. Yay. Wow, that was a well-spent $50 trillion we dumped into that country, and all the lives and everything. Boy, that worked out well. Thanks, Obama. Biden.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. And they border, so, I mean, it's just, right next door. They've got that kind of a nut job Islamo-fascist government in place. It's scary stuff. I wouldn't want anything to do with any of it. Even for like a couple-day vacation, I wouldn't want anything to do with that place. So anyway, folks, we've got to take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show, and we'll be right back after this.
All right, we are on radio break. That's right.
All right, Barry.
Yep.
What do you call it? The bonus Barry hour or something?
The bonus Barry hour.
No, we're just in the second hour, not the third hour.
No, I know. But we got only have about 10 minutes to hash all this stuff out in between breaks.
Yep. If you have any clips, Barry, that you want to play, check them out now, because now's the time to do it. We got lots of time.
And are you going to run the clock and all that?
No.
What's that?
No. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
All you got to
Let's
do
play
is
that clip.
all you got to do, Barry, is keep an eye on the on my camera, and then you'll see me do this, like in this. That means we got to get.
Hey, okay, hold on. Let me look at. I'm on the page now. I couldn't see you before because I was on my page. Do it again.
I'll go like this, or I'll go like this.
Okay.
This means to start wrapping it up.
Yeah. We could play that clip of the Muslims saying, the conspiracy theorists or whoever said we were going to take over, and yeah, we are taking over New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people just don't believe this stuff that we tell people, and they have to hear it, or see it. If people really are like, they're so glued to the mainstream media that never talks about any of this stuff, right? They pretend like, it's a peaceful protest when things are burning down and people are beating people up. I mean, this is the worldview they have if they listen to the fake news. Less and less people are, but man, you can't break those people that listen just to the fake news. You can't break them. They're impossible. I know these people. I mean, I come across them all the time, man. And I sit there and try to tell them, I said, just because you didn't see it on your network doesn't mean it didn't happen. I said, here's the video, here's the proof, and they don't care. They don't care. It's like they're brainwashed by the mainstream media. It is so bizarre. I've never seen anything quite like it.
You want cold water? Here we go, buddy. Had to get Zeus some water.
God.
Come on over here, buddy. Come here. Oh, he's a good boy.
Man, that fan is loud. Woo, that's loud.
Who's a good boy? Huh? You a good boy? He gave me the side eye. Can you give me the side eye? Get it. Come on. Jump on the bed. Jump on the bed. Come on. Good boy.
Oh, wow. Boy, it's been like almost 90 out here the last couple of days. It's just been like, wow.
It was cool yesterday, but boy, it got warm today. I think it was in the upper 80s today here. What's it like over where you're at, Barry?
It's in the 70s, I think. Yeah.
Well,
pretty nice.
You're a little further north than me, so yeah. That makes sense. You got a nice breeze going, or is it like calm, or is it like super windy?
There was some wind this morning, but then by the time I got out to do my jog, it was actually really nice out, man. I can't complain.
For me, it's been dead still, like no wind at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you on upper elevation now, or are you on lower, or how's your elevation right now? Or you're in like a valley?
Now, baby.
Yeah, I'm at like 1,000 feet.
Did you guys hear that coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Not very well, but
don't forget to cite.
Well,
don't
there's a bunch
forget
of
to
people
cite your videos and where you get them from.
Okay, well, it's just from X, man. It's not like news. It's just what some citizen journalist uploaded it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
that was from the rally, though, the Ramadan thing in New York, right?
well, it's recent. I know that. It's probably the same thing.
Well, it might have been
because
Nate Friedman that did that.
it's a 26-second clip. I mean, it's.
Oh, then you don't have to worry about citing it.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's less than 5 minutes, you don't have to cite it at all.
Well, you
Really?
I mean, you should cite everything that you can cite. All right. If it's
no, I'm
just
kidding. I just wanted to get Mark's
if
reaction to that.
it's just from X, you can say, hey, it came from X.
Do we need to
All right.
switch rooms, Mark?
The
Switch
the
rooms?
terms of service. I go over them kind of weekly with Mark Edworthy, and he's a stickler about that stuff. I'm glad he doesn't work for the FCC. That's all I gotta say. He'd be worse than Gary.
Is it me, or did we already switch rooms, or?
Not yet.
Oh, Why are we still live?
Because I need to switch us to the next room and bring us right back. All right?
No, but why is this room still here? This room shouldn't even be here.
I don't know. I'm not going to complain.
Oh, dude, it's over an hour.
All right.
For sure. That's weird.
Make
Maybe
sure everybody hangs up. All right? Yeah, but that ain't going to keep, you know. All right, folks. We'll start with hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show once I get us right back up. That's right. Do. Let's get those folks in here. John and Barry. And I'll switch us back over on the team side.
So
Hold on.
maybe
here.
in the third hour.
What about the third hour?
We can talk a little bit about, unless John, you want to talk about it before then, but we can talk about Candace Owens and her conspiracy madness and how she's got a documentary that's basically, I think it's accusing Erica Kirk of basically being the murderer or some insane stuff, you know. We can even play the trailer if you want. I mean, it's insane. I mean, she's gone over the end.
Gather that stuff up, man. When I'm doing like my monologues and stuff, just go gather that stuff up and put it in the wing, and I'll let you kind of control the third hour, because I'll probably run out of all my content. I've got enough stuff for 2 hours, but the third hour I'll be like kind of more reactionary to content to your words, you know. I'll be in the co-pilot seat, so to speak.
You'll be able to talk forever about Candace because you were mad at her before I ever got mad at her. I was like, you know, I just thought it was harmless, you know, just like kind of being a little bit out there, not a threat. But now she's just got completely insane. Or bonkers, however you want to. Maybe insane's a little much, but I mean, Dan Bongino went off on her, called her all kinds of horrible names, man. You see that? I mean, we're talking like names you can't say on the radio, dude. Like, he was calling her an evil something.
I bet if you know Erica Kirk really well and you sit down on the patio with her and have a couple glasses of wine, I bet she starts saying really nasty stuff about her. Like, really nasty.
I mean, she started it out as an investigation into the death of Charlie Kirk, and now somehow it's a documentary about his wife. I'm sure that's exactly what Charlie Kirk was hoping for. You know, because they're supposedly like best buddies, right? You know, Candace and Charlie, best buddies. Well, I don't think he really would want you attacking his wife relentlessly like you have, and in the most bizarre ways, you know? Like, I don't even care if she's like a little weird or strange. It's like, leave the woman alone, okay? I don't want to hear it. And she just makes stuff up.
Leave the poor woman alone. My God.
I mean, we got real issues, man. And she's literally like doing a documentary on it. You know, episode 1 of the documentary is coming out. Bam, and here's the trailer. I mean, it's like, is this what we want to see? But then all these America First people, that's what they call themselves now, they're all like, oh, Candace is the truth teller. I'm like, what? She can't even back up like 90% of what she says.
Well, we're under 30 seconds, and I'll be giving you a countdown here shortly.
Well, they just don't like Jews, and that's the glue that holds them together, you know?
That's a big part.
Anyone who feeds them anything that feeds their hatred of Jews, they're gonna click on it, you know?
And here's your countdown. 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition, February 25th, 2026. Bullhorn Barry is my co-host for tonight. And Barry, man, you thinking about a third hour, are you?
Well, yeah, let's do it. We need to help out. So yeah, let's do it.
All right, big announcement, folks. We're going to have a 3-hour show tonight. So this is the start of hour 2. We're going to do an hour 3 marathon. 3 hours of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show tonight. Although we're going to attribute the third hour to Barry. We're going to call it the Bullhorn Barry Bonus Bonanza. I don't know. Hour. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it, as we always do. But yeah, special edition tonight, folks. You're in for a treat. We're going to have a third hour, and we're psyched. So let's look at some news. Should we go talk about the Kiastama? Oh, Kiastama has done so poorly. I love the fact that I came up with that tagline for him. Kiastama.
It's beautiful.
Because he turned into it. I knew he was going to be a nut job. And I just looked at his name, Keir Starmer. I'm like, how? That's not even British. It's like straight out of Austria or Germany or something, you know? It's right out of the Gunstag. And the guy turned out to be the fascist we thought he was going to be, times 10.
Sure.
Now, get this. Here's an article from Breitbart. Quote, British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has been accused of overseeing a system which reportedly allowed suspected grooming gang child rapists to walk free without a warning during his time as the country's top prosecutor. According to an investigation from the Express newspaper, at least 13,000 child abduction warning notices were sent out by police between 2008 and 25 in a supposed effort to disrupt child rape grooming gangs. However, it is possible that the true figure is much higher. 13,000 child abduction warning notices were sent to people. Hey, we just want to do a heads up that abducting and raping children is frowned on here in England, right? It's not really something we do here, right? Could you cut it out? Knock it off. A sternly worded letter. 13,000 people got one. Unbelievable that you're going to send out a child abduction warning notice to people, to pedophiles, to some of the scum of the scum of the scum of the earth, the worst possible scum of the earth you can imagine, someone who harms little girls. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Some of the people, now, we had the Restore Party come out recently, and I now understand why the gentleman, Rupert Lowe, is coming out and talking about this, why he's starting his own party. They're finding out that cops would often give these girls rides over to their abductors' homes in exchange for cash.
Man.
That's the testimony they're getting. Cops would drive them to their rapists and drop them off for money. I mean, folks, if this is real, England is over. England is, I say it's over, but it would honestly be the kick in the butt England needs to say, hey, wait a minute, we've got a system that is absolutely broken from top to bottom. If we had cops delivering these girls to their rapists and then turning a blind eye when the father calls up later and says, hey, man, my daughter's in there. Can I get her? I need to get her out of there. I don't know. God only knows what's happening to my daughter in there. No, sir, you're trespassing. You got to go home. I don't care if your 13-year-old daughter's in there. That has happened, folks. They arrested the father on several occasions when they called the cops and said, hey, man, these Pakistani guys, they've got my daughter, underage daughter, in their house. I want her home now. And they say, bug off. It's none of your business. You can't do anything. We'll arrest you and put you in jail if you make a scene about it. Why? Because they were afraid of being called racist. Which nowadays, man, they call everybody racist and no one cares anymore. But they were afraid of being called racist when the word has no meaning whatsoever. They were afraid of the repercussions from the minority group that they allowed into the country, encouraged to come into the country, that will soon be the majority group. And when the majority group, you wait to see how they treat you then. This is how they treat you as a minority in your country. You just wait till they're the majority. It's absolutely disgusting. And Keir Starmer needs to go. He needs to step down and get out of the way so that England can start to begin to think about healing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Barry. What do you say, man?
Or, I mean, I think that's, what they put it under is the whole, well, they don't want to be called racist. I mean, sure, at the lower levels, there's some people that are afraid of that. But I have always contended from day one that this is an intentional plan to bring everything down, to burn it all down so they can rebuild it under the Great Reset. That's what this is all about. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only piece that actually fits. Because, look, it's already been proven that this is going on, and there's going to be no change. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's proof that it was intentional. Okay? Even Tommy Robinson came out and said, I've been proven right now. Time and time and time and time and time again. And those kinds of things don't continue to happen because, diversity is our strength, or I don't want to be called a racist. It happens when you take joy in seeing your nation be destroyed so you can usher in the WEF's Great Reset and New World Order, which they just now call the Liberal World Order because it's liberal in its approach. It used to be called the New World Order. Now it's the Liberal World Order or the Great Reset. Call it whatever you want. Global governance, tyranny, dystopia. It's all of that and more, and it's coming from the left. And that's who controls the Democrat Party, is the globalists. And that's their agenda. The green scam, the global dimming, the CBDCs, all the things that Trump rejects, which is a good thing, or we would all be under slavery right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you bring up a lot of salient points in that. Pretty impressive, actually. And one of the things that's been really coming up lately is, this whole diversity is our strength thing. Well, if you go to Saudi Arabia, how much diversity is there? And is it their strength? How many churches do they have? There's this whole thing about, should there be no churches in England anymore? Or, I'm sorry, mosques. Get rid of the mosques in England. And they're just screaming, they're bloody furious about this. The Muslims are, and rightly so. They should be. But they've done it to themselves. They pushed this thing too far. You can't just go into another country and say, hey, you're not diverse enough. The countryside, the shires are not diverse enough. I go out there as a Muslim and I don't feel welcome. There's nowhere for me to go except for this pub where everyone's drinking alcohol. So I can't really go there. We should have alcohol-free pubs in the shires so that the Muslims can go up and enjoy them too. Well, no, that's what makes life worth living when you live in the middle of nowhere and all you've got is your local pub. That's the only place within an hour of drive that you can go to hang out anyway. So yeah, you're going to go use it. But you're not going to go out there and start changing it. And yet they're openly calling for that in the UK. It's shocking. So yeah, how many churches are there in the 57 Muslim countries? A handful. Handfuls. They tolerate a few in Palestine, because that's where Jesus was born, so they kind of have to. Or where Jesus lived part of his life and all that kind of stuff. But then there are other countries out there that just don't have any. Japan, just this week, they've got a new supermajority there of conservatives, and they banned straight up burqas and headscarves and all that stuff for, public display, just not allowed there. A lot of people, again, are freaking out over that. Why not? It's racist and whatnot. No, it's them saying, hey, this isn't part of our culture. We're a monolithic culture. We're not a we don't have 50 different cultures here. We just have the Japanese here in Japan, and we like it that way. And to them, it is diverse. To them, it's a beautiful thing. To them, it's perfect. It's what they know. It's what they like, and it what works for them. It works like a charm for Japan. I mean, look at the place. It's beautiful. Dare I say, nearly perfect. I mean, you can fall asleep on the sidewalk with your wallet on your chest with cash sticking out of the side of it, and you'll wake up with all your money. No one will rob you. Mm-hmm. They've got grocery stores there. The convenience stores have coolers on the outside where you'd walk up, grab your drink on the sidewalk, and then go inside and pay for it. You could never do that in America. You know, people would see that on the sidewalk, they'd open up, take a Coke, and just keep walking down the sidewalk. You'd lose every bit of merchandise in there within the hour. So, I don't know, man. Who said diversity is our strength? Diversity is a strength, but it's a global strength. Having diverse cultures and diverse nations and, you know, different languages and different peoples and, you know, the ability to go explore all that and discover it all. But, you know, there should be a German country, there should be a German culture, there should be German speaking people, there should be French people, there should be Spanish people, Italians, Greeks, Turks, you know, all these different cultures are beautiful unto themselves, but they have their place, and their place should be sacred to their people. And yet it's not anymore. It's not. It's quickly becoming overwhelmed. I think Norway is on its way very quickly to becoming like 30% Muslim in the next 5 years or so. Very interesting. We'll see how that turns out for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Barry?
I mean, you bring up some interesting, good points. And I think when most people, you know, common sense, sane people, when they hear the word diversity, you know, they're thinking food, you know, tradition, family, community. They're not thinking diversity of people that have a complete and total different view about your society and your values and your rule of law. But that's what they brought in. Like Trump said, they brought in the people from the mental asylums. They brought them in from the prisons, all intentionally to bring us down. And according to our head of our counterintelligence, I've already talked about this before. I mean, we can play that video again if necessary. Biden knowingly let in 1,800 known terrorists and only sent 3 of them back. Now, what's going on with that? Because that's beyond being an imbecile and a moron. That's intentional. And look, if Trump wins, they know that they can, you know, see that those sleeper cells, because that's what they are now that they're here, could be easily activated. It's just that simple, man. Nobody is that dumb. And even if Biden is that dumb, the people that were actually running the presidency, which wasn't Biden, knew that letting in 18 known terrorists into our country would be devastating. And that's the big concern with a lot of people right now, is what in the world is going to happen? What are the deep state operatives, the thugs that want to see America destroyed, going to trigger next? Are we talking about another shamdemic? Are we talking about some kind of EMP pulse? Are we talking about, releasing these sleeper cells? I mean, I don't know, man. But believe me, these people that are bad actors, and I'm not naming any names, but I know they're out there, they want to see America destroyed. And one of the easiest way to do it would be, and look, man, you've even got Iran saying they're going to, make their people that are here start doing terrorist attacks if we attack them to try to free their people. So this is the kind of thing that we need to be concerned with in 2026. For real.
Absolutely. We got to be prepared for it next week. I mean, this is a big deal. 1,800 known terrorists. And I would say that number has got to be much, much, much higher than even that. But, we kind of have to deal with the known, the ones he knew about.
Exactly. Yeah. That's others snuck in for sure. We've got witnesses of people saying that. We know that. We have testimony, people that have been there on the border watching this whole thing from day one. And they said, oh, yeah, man, all kinds of shady people have come in. And most of the people that were coming in were not women and children. They were military-aged men.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, too. I mean, military-aged men. Why? Why do you point to that? Why do you let that happen? Why are they coming? It's shocking. And then I was thinking about, with all these sexual assaults that are happening on the streets of London and all over Europe. What do you expect when you bring in millions and millions of people that have no female suitors whatsoever? Where are they going to get their sexual frustrations taken out? You know what I mean? What do they do with that? They're a walking time bomb. Of course stuff's going to happen.
Yeah. And it's part of the public. Think about it. If you're a parent and you've got a kid and you're seeing them do nothing to stop this, that's demoralizing to you. You begin to just give up and surrender and capitulate and just accept this new, insane world that we live in. But we can't do that. We have to remain strong. We have to remain resilient, and we have to stand up, especially here in America. We have to stand up for the Constitution and the rule of law. And look, man, I've said it before. I mean, I've got more energy and passion in my fingertip than all of them combined together. I mean, they do have some resilience, the deep state thugs. Don't get me wrong. But, man, they can't out-passion us. We love America and everything it stands for, and we will never surrender. Never!
Never surrender. Anyway, let's move on a little bit here. I've got a really interesting story from LA, and I'm going to play a clip here from the local news channel here. It is, I'll give you an actual name of it when it comes up on the screen here.
This is our home of 40 years.
There's really no brush.
Okay, it's Matt Seed or FFTV is the source for this. But this is Los Angeles. They're talking about victims from the Palisades fire.
Hello? Got nothing coming, man.
What, $31? No.
There we go.
Get it for me. I have no how.
So what they're doing is they're sending bills to the people who own the lots in Pacific Palisades and fining them $31 for having excessive brush on their properties.
But they're not able to do anything. They're not allowed.
And
not even
well, he's there with the camera showing the lot. There's no excessive brush on it. Right?
Oh,
Nothing's
okay.
higher than like halfway up her shins, like nothing higher than her knee, But you want $31 when I've been burned out of my home and you did nothing, and it's a year and change later and I still don't have, the semblance of anything looking close to a permit approved by the city to rebuild, Unbelievable. Insult to injury.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is, it's this tactic of the leftist Marxist globalists, but what they want to do, in my opinion, is just basically get everybody to feel overwhelmed, and that fighting, like I was just saying, fighting the system doesn't do any good because they're just going to keep hammering you and kicking you when you're down. That's the sign of a very weak and pathetic person. Somebody that literally kicks a weak person when they're down after you lose everything. I mean, that's about as low as you can get. It's not the lowest. You can go lower, but it's pretty low, man. You're kicking a person when they're down. And that kind of stuff's got to change. And Trump was talking about how these tariffs are going to basically end the income tax. He said that in the speech, right? I saw a little clip of it. So what Trump is doing is trying to empower the people, and you can't do it overnight. He's done a lot in a year. Give him a couple more years, and man, we're going to see a whole lot of more empowerment to the people, because that's all part of this paradigm shift that we've talked about. And look, we're going to have a paradigm shift. It's just going to be a matter of which one. Is it going to be the Great Awakening, or is it going to be the Great Reset? It's one or the other. Both sides are fighting. It's the best of both worlds, and it's the best of times and the worst of times. Two worlds are coexisting for preeminence and to take control of the conch. And if you can't see it, your eyes aren't open. That is what's happening, man. That's why we're being bombarded every single day.
Yeah, remoralization is what we need. Not demoralization, but remoralization. Remoralize, motivate people. Get them back in the game. Show, I mean, like you say, this is a kick in the teeth. It's $31. You know what I mean? $31. It's such an insult. It's pathetic. And I swear to God, they're doing it just to piss them off, just to piss them off, to show them there's no hope. But anyway, folks, we're going to take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show, and we'll be right back after this.
Good job, guys. Right on.
I mean, dude,
you were flailing around like a drowning swimmer.
I mean, that's.
You got to remember, I'm running the show here, so you don't have to.
Alex brought me a steak, so.
Sounds
nice,
good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a 16-gram grass-fed protein bar with all kinds of healthy stuff, different and stuff. collagen, all kinds of good stuff in there, man. Tastes like caramel. I don't know if you guys have been going to X or not, and YouTube, it's on YouTube as well. But what I'm hearing from people of every single political persuasion is they're sick of everything, man. And so some good's got to be done, or else I'm not going to do it, but a lot of people that are, sort of unhinged, the civil unrest could get worse, man, because people are just, they don't trust anything. They don't believe anything anymore. That's how, they're so untrustworthy. They don't trust even the most basic thing, There's actually a conspiracy out there that traffic's not even real. People are starting to question traffic. Is the traffic really real?
We all know the birds aren't real.
Well,
and the birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
It's really easy to cause a a traffic jam in a city. It's really easy.
Yeah, no,
all you got to do is be in the right place at the right time and hit your brakes and slow down to like 20 and then just take off again, and you've created traffic through the whole city behind you.
Well, but the traffic is real. Like if you run into another car, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, no, it's real, but it's also very easy to make.
Sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure maybe. The idea behind the conspiracy is it's one more way to agitate us, right? It's one more way.
Yeah.
Who knows what they are doing? There are all kinds of frequencies that they could be using against us because we got all these towers. They could be doing whatever they want to us, and that's not conspiracy. That's so far out there that it's not possible. So they could be controlling people's moods because there's patents on that kind of stuff. That certain frequencies, can actually sexually excite somebody or make them angry or all kinds of stuff. And I would imagine that even watching your TV is opening the door to that. But at some point, you become resilient to a lot of it. I think once you're awake to it, you know how to combat it. There's different ways to combat that kind of stuff. All that negative energy, whatever it is that's out there. You got to spend some time by yourself, man. Get grounded.
Yep. Get outside, breathe fresh air, all that good stuff.
Just breathe. For goodness sake, man, just go out and breathe some fresh air. Pick a day when the chemtrails aren't out there. But no, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. But I'm saying 2026 will be a year where we're going to hear the most wildest conspiracies, and there'll be a distraction from the real ones. That's my concern. You see my point? I'm not just talking to be talking. I'm
30 seconds, guys.
I'll distract from what really matters. Like, why isn't Candace talking about the Epstein stuff, man, instead of stupid Erica Kurt? Give me a break.
And here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for February 25, 2026. And I'm laughing because I don't know, I've got an article in my lineup here that I filed this one under Willie Lee. Kentucky man was arrested for having sex with a dead deer on the side of the road. That's right, folks. I'll leave it at that. I don't even know how much we want to get into this, but somebody was driving by, saw something funny looking, called the cops. The cops showed up, and yeah, guilty as charged. Wow. I don't know, man. The man was covered in blood, as well as deer fur. Had his pants down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't know, man. I can go on about that.
I got a comment. You can't open that can of worms and just leave it, man. I mean, here's the thing, okay? I mean, Honestly,
Yeah.
we got to be honest here. Something's happening, okay? I mean, this kind of thing,
Yeah.
of course, has happened before in the past, but it's
Sure.
been isolated. It's been isolated. This is like a regular thing. Crazy is like a regular thing.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say we, the people, need to sort of be the sanity in the insane world. You know, be the sanity in this insane world because, and look, every time we allow the left to go more crazy, cutting off our kids, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, man. All the killing babies after they're born, euthanasia for any reason. I mean, it's only going to get crazier. And then people's mind also gets more warped as well. And then we see these kinds of things like, you know, you're talking about, which is just completely insane. So something's happening, like some kind of spiritual war is happening. And so you need to choose the right side and then stand up and speak up. I see, you know, as a Christian, I see a lot of Christians saying nothing, and I'm shocked by that. Because if anybody should be saying something, it should be us. And they don't, because they want to be kind, you know, because most of the Christians I hang around with are good people, but they're too kind. They're not willing to speak up. They're not willing to, you know, call out insanity because they don't want to offend somebody. But man, you do realize that if you be quiet, then our kids are going to be harmed. And if you don't look into this Epstein stuff, you know, that kind of thing will keep going on. So I don't care what your religious belief is, whether it's something or nothing, you still have to speak up.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, this is another level of crazy here, man. This is wacko out there. I mean, on the side of the highway, you're just thinking that's the sexiest looking thing you've seen all year, and you just can't help yourself. You know what I mean? That's absolutely insanity.
I think it's why a lot of people are turning to God. You know, there's a renewed curiosity for God. And we saw that, you know, in the UK, even where there's more Bibles being sold, you know, more people are reading the Bible now, more people are considering going to church, are going to church, although the institutional church has in America a lot of problems. So that's probably keeping a lot of people away from church because they see that it's kind of synthetic, you know, it's not, it doesn't feel super duper genuine or organic a lot of times. So they just kind of bail on it, or they see this, you know, the prosperity gospel being preached, and it's not really anything about what Jesus taught, you know, about caring for each other and loving each other, helping each other out, you know, the golden rule, so to speak.
Yeah, the golden rule. Who has the gold rules?
Whoever has the gold does rule. I think that's what Rockefeller or the Rothschilds. Just give me the gold. I just want all the power.
Exactly. Rasmussen Reports came out with a new survey. Said basically 64% of all voters are concerned with, well, let me read the actual question they asked. Quote, how concerned are you that electronic voting systems may allow votes to be changed remotely through internet connections during voting? I'm concerned. 64% of all voters. Okay. Break it down into demographics, women 62, men 68. Let's see, whites 63, Black 67, Hispanic 71. That kind of caught my interest there. The average was 64, Blacks and Hispanics 67 and 71. So even more concerned in those communities than in the white community at 63.
That kind of fits everything you said about, you know, Hispanics, that, you know, a lot of them that come over here, they're very religious, they're Catholic, you know, so they have morality, and they, you know, they believe in doing things fairly and honestly.
Mm-hmm. And they've left countries that are communist and have cheated the systems forever. You know, we think, you know, America's the only one that's fixed elections. Lord, man, if you've lived in Cuba, you've seen nothing but stolen and fixed elections. And then now, instead of having corrupt people in a room all having to cheat and write blatantly in front of each other, you know, together, they can just shove them all in a machine, let the machine do the cheating, and they can all go home with a good conscience because they didn't do it. You know, the programmer did it. Which is why if it's a voting machine, it absolutely has to be open source, folks. You can't have these closed black box voting machines where no one can see what the code says. The code needs to be public so that it's open source. Anybody can look at it. Anybody can, you know, offer potential edits to it. Open source, man. Linux is open source. It's a operating system that is, one of the third largest used ones in the world. You got Apple, you got Windows, you got Linux. Linux is completely open source. It's free. It's made by the people, of the people, and for the people. And everybody can see every line of code in it. And if there's some malicious thing lurking in there, you're going to know about it. When you work with Windows, you don't know what's in there. You can't see the code. It's proprietary. It's a black box. When we deal with these election machines that are black box, they're proprietary, they're secret, no one can look at the code because, well, then they could steal their entire business, right? The code should be very straightforward, very simple, and open sourced. The mere fact that they won't allow it to be open source tells you there's an issue there. But 2/3 of the people are out there saying this needs to go away. Another 80% are in favor of voter ID. So we've got, again, all these issues that are 80-20 issues that the Democrats are willing to die on. They're willing to die on, we have to have the voting machines, period. No hand counting ever is allowed, period. Why? Why are you so adamantly against it?
And it was kind of funny when that snowstorm came, when Ma'am Danny was making people actually come up with two IDs, two forms of ID to actually, shovel snow. I mean, but hey, we don't need an ID to vote, but you're going to go shovel some snow. You better show us two forms of ID. And right now, man.
I think only 30 people showed up for that whole system across the entire city.
Well,
That's 10 million people.
Pretty bad, wasn't it? I don't know.
Well,
maybe
you think
it's a blizzard.
Yeah.
I don't
Nobody
know,
wanted
man.
to work in the blizzard, right?
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they did get paid something. I think it was, $20 an hour? Wasn't that what it was to shovel?
Yeah.
Maybe on that, but I think it was something like that.
Yeah,
but you better show
work
forms of ID before we let you go out there and shovel because we need to know who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to vote, no, that's racist. It's racist and bigoted if you want to see someone's ID. Yet, if you go to any black neighborhood and you say, "Hey, do you have an ID?" They'll say, "Of course." Why are you asking me? That's a silly question. Do all your friends have IDs? Yeah, everyone I know has an ID. How do you know? Well, you can't do anything in the city of New York without an ID. Is buying alcohol racist? To ask for ID, is that racist? If some kid wants to go up and buy cigarettes, you ID them.
No,
is that
it's
racist?
only racist. It's selectively racist. Whatever they need to make their narrative work. You know what I'm saying? It's all a scam, and everybody knows it. Nobody's like, when you call somebody a racist, basically people go, "Oh, so you're admitting I'm not a racist, and you're a racist." I get it. So, like you said, it's lost its identity. Racism has, because they've just ruined that. Because they made everything racist, from white cauliflower to brown paper bags to highways to trees, whatever. Anything and everything can be racist, but real racism they don't say anything about.
I got one actually. Milk, and this is an actual article I have up here. NYU professor calls government endorsement of whole milk racist. Arthur Kaplan, a bioethics professor at NYU, criticized the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act, which President Donald Trump signed into law on January 14th. Right?
Oh man.
Whole milk is racist.
Okay, but
how? How do you get there, sir?
We're not racist. The cows are racist because they're the ones putting out the white milk. Why can't they do chocolate milk? Okay. They could do some brown or black milk. It's just that simple, man. It's all the cow's fault. So I think Bill Gates probably has an idea already to fix that. We're going to genetically engineer the next generation of cows to basically have brown milk.
Skim milk is water.
That's a good idea. Come on, man. Bill Gates is a genius.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But skim milk tastes like water to me. It's horrible.
They want to genetically engineer the cows not to fart. Well, why would it be so absurd for them to say, we're not going to have the cows milking white milk anymore because it's just not diverse enough? These are nutty people. This is the same guy who wants to dim the planet, folks. We need to stop. We need to speak up, dude. We have to start speaking up against the madness. Stop giving people like Bill Gates and stupid Anthony Fauci a platform. Boo them off the stage if they ever get on a stage and you're there. Boo them off the stage. They're clowns. They're jokers. They're demons.
Yeah. Go to jail. You should be in jail. Should be their calling card. Anytime they get on a stage, people should just boo them and say jail, 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 till something happens. I mean, these guys are nutsos. But, you know, how do you go call milk racist? Arthur Kaplan, this guy, he said, quote, Nazis were enamored of whole milk as well. I'm suspicious. Milk drinking is political. Drinking whole white milk has played a big role in racist and far-right thinking in America. Drinking whole milk has for years been part of the alt-right, white nationalist messaging in tweets, memes, and videos. My God, the dude is insane. And he's a professor at NYU. People are paying $100,000 a year to go sit in his class.
Open up the asylums, as Trump said. Or you said, somebody said, let's open up the mental asylums again. Maybe, you know, as long as they treat the people good and they don't go back to the weird stuff they were doing to people in these mental asylums and they're actually helping them, then open up the mental asylums, because that guy is nuts, dude. That person is insane. Or he's just trying to stir things up, one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny thing to see. It really is. And they're just, everything is racist. If everything is racist, nothing is racist. So if you're worried about being called racist in today's world, just don't even worry about it. Roll with it. Take it with stride. It's a mark of honor almost. If somebody wants to call you racist, say, oh, wow, really? Thanks. Huh. I'm impressed. I didn't think I had it in me.
I mean, if everything is turned upside down with the Democrats, then actually when they call you racist, they're saying you're not a racist. Because basically the Democrats are promoting this Stranger Things upside down world and trying to make that our reality somehow. And we're supposed to just suspend all of our critical thinking and just accept whatever they say, you know, whatever, you know, furries. I mean, come on, really? People can be cats now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what? If you say people can be cats and they need a cat litter box, I mean, what's next after that? How far do you take this insanity?
Oh, yeah. I think we covered that when there was like a big furry convention in San Diego or something. Like they were talking to the hotel. And the hotel was getting requests from people to actually put like human-sized litter boxes in their bathrooms for them. Wow. And then some schools were doing it as well. Insanity. Insanity.
How do you respond to that, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you're a hotel, you just do it and you charge them $300 for the litter and you say, yeah, that's our standard fee. And you sell them, you know, $5 worth of kitty litter for $300 and that's how you make money. You know, knowing you're probably going to have it everywhere when they leave, they're going to track it all everywhere. So you have to sweep it up and, you know, vacuum kitty litter, which sounds like you're, you know, taking up nails or something. It sounds like a gun battle when your vacuum picks up kitty litter.
Well,
but go ahead.
Just remember in 1984 when Winston is being tortured. You know, the whole point of torturing him is because he, you know, actually kept his sane mind and realized that 2 + 2 still equals 4, no matter what the global elites say. And so finally, they tortured him to such a degree that he's like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. I believe. Yes, 2 + 2 = 5. It equals 555. Whatever you say it is, I believe it. And then what do they do after they finally break him? They get rid of him, as in permanently. And that's kind of the model, you know. It's all about getting us to submit. And if you're a resistor, it's never going to end well for you, especially if you if you allow them to break you, right, and become a part of the hive mind. Because that's what it is. It's a hive mind. And you look at these Democrat universities, it's a hive mind, dude. And you pointed it out. A lot of them don't buy the hive mind. A lot of them just go along with it to make their life easier. But that day's got to stop. You got to start. You need to educate yourself and know and understand why everything that they're saying is completely insane so that you can defend your stance and then stand up for yourself and your beliefs. Stop being bullied by a few minority few.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's crazy to just see how the world is moving. We just report on it, man. But we got to keep positive, keep our expectations in line, and you know, understand that things can get better. For instance, in California, something very interesting could potentially be happening here in June. So mark your calendars. A few months out, But they're going to be having their primaries for the governor of California in June.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they have the rules set up, the top 2 vote getters advance to the general election. And the party affiliation doesn't matter. Okay? So you could have 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 2 whatever, 2 Green Party. They wrote this rule because they knew most of the time it'd just be 2 Democrats. But this year, the polling, the most recent polling, looks like this. Steve Hilton, Republican, at 17%. Chad Blanco, Republican, at 14%. Eric Swalwell, Democrat, tied at 14. Katie Porter at 10, and Tom Steyer at 9. So there is a scenario where you could see Steve Hilton and Chad Blanco, 2 Republicans, win the top 2 spots in the primary, and then there is no option on the ballot for any Democrat to be the next governor of California. That would be hysterical. I mean, the memes, I can see it now.
Oh, yeah. The ultimate backfire.
Yeah. You set up this weird system and it backfires on you big time. Now you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Well, that would be wonderful to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That'd be funny, man. It'd just be funny. It really would. But, Eric Swalwell, come on, man. That's your best choice. The guy doesn't even live in California, hasn't lived in there for years, and is in no way eligible to be the governor of California. In no way is Eric Swalwell eligible to be the governor of California. If he is, please provide to me the address where he has lived for the last 5 years. That is, has a California address. Where in California has he lived for the last 5 years? Rent paid, mortgage paid, anything. Show me that, and I'll say, yep, he's good to go. But no one can produce that because it doesn't exist. As far as I've been, my research has shown, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a shocking thing that nobody has said boo, except for a few, people out there are actually calling this out. Joe Hoft is one of them. No one else is calling it out.
Right.
I just find it shocking. It's shocking stuff.
I mean, it really is. But, I mean, it's par for the course, right, with these guys. I think the rule of law to the left is just whatever works for them at the moment. That's the rule of law they go by. Because it's definitely selective and it's definitely applied liberally for those on the right. But on the left, it's like, well, this rule is a little bit better for us, so they just change it, I mean, look what they tried, all the shenanigans they tried, during the 2016 elections, right? I mean, it's not even in our Constitution, right? They just do stuff. And if nobody really contests it, then it's just like it's law, even though it's really not. It's the color of law. They do stuff under the color of law quite often. I mean, that's pretty much the Democrat globalist methodology, right? They don't believe in the Constitution rule of law. That's why they interpret it so loosely. But then they strictly interpret it if it's a Republican that violates it in any shape, fashion, form, or way, or they think it's being violated. But for them, hey, it breathes, man. It's a liberal piece of paper.
Yeah, it's a breathing, living. Well, anyway, Barry, I'm going to crack you up with this next article I got here. I'm just going to crack you up. Are you ready for this?
Give it to me, man.
This is from C-SPAN the other day, where John Barron, a guy named John Barron, called up to complain about the Supreme Court nuking Trump's tariffs. Now, see if this guy sounds familiar to you.
Well, this is John Barron, and this is the worst decision you ever have in your life, practically. Jack's going to agree with me, right? But this is a terrible decision, and you have Hakeem Jeffries, he's a dope, and you have Chuck Schumer, who can't cook a cheeseburger. Of course these people are happy. But true Americans will not be happy. And you have the woman earlier, I assume she's a woman, she's a Democrat, but she said she's disgraced. She's devastated.
All right,
by
John.
this.
We'll go to Chester, who's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Democratic caller.
Did you get the name?
Hey, no.
John Barron.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
So yeah, Trump's middle name is John and his son's name is Barron. I think that was actually one of those guys that impersonates Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It sounded a lot like him, but the whole Chuck Schumer can't cook a cheeseburger thing, I've never heard Trump say that.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could tell it wasn't him, but it was a good impersonation.
Is that hysterical or what? They like cut him off. They're like, all right, next caller. Let's go to the Democrat line and get somebody on here who's not insane.
I'm telling you, one of the best things people can do right now, and it's like a strategy that I'm doing a lot more of now, and I wrote about it on social media, and that is sarcasm and mockery. Instead of like approaching the left when they say insane stuff with facts, it's better just to mock them because they hate it. They hate it because what they're saying is so insane that when you're sarcastic with them and you mock them, it exposes them more than if you were to lay out facts. It's a strange phenomenon, but hey, mockery and sarcasm at the right time works.
It does. And it's really the most powerful tool we have. It's why the memes are so important and why they hate the memes so much. Why Gavin Newsom wanted to ban, make them illegal, and why they're going after, 3,000 people, 300 a day or 30 a day in the UK for memes, or saying something mean. In Germany, they do it as well. For somebody called one of the politicians Pinocchio. They said, "Oh, great, so-and-so is coming to town. He's Pinocchio to me." And they raided the guy's house in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
For calling a politician Pinocchio.
Yeah, I mean, the tyrants are very real, man. And it's a real thing, man. I mean, ever since the shamdemic, we've talked about this, the tyrants came out from under the rocks. I had no idea there were so many tyrants just waiting to have the power to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But now that we know that, we got to be careful, man, because these people, they're not based in reality. They're based in their tyrannical mindset and having power and having ultimate power and lording over people. This is what they get a kick out of, So that's a real thing, folks. Don't doubt that for a second.
Mm-hmm. Don't doubt it for a second. We are living in clown world out here. We really are. And it's just all you can do to sort of watch it happen and just hope we get better. Hope people wake up sooner than later and that we start getting some normality back in the world. With this horrible snowstorm we had in New York, there's footage of cops getting pelted with snowballs, And a few of them.
Though. I heard some of them actually, because it was like ice, some of it was, and they got abrasions and had to go to the hospital. They got actually wounded. Yeah, it wasn't just like a peaceful snow fight.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at here. It's Mondami asked him, and they were just snowballs. They were throwing snowballs. It was fun, playful. Because this guy has demonized them. He's called them racist. He's called them pigs. He's called them everything in the book. Let's get rid of them. We don't need them. And so the people come out and they see them trying to keep the traffic moving, trying to work in this brutal snowstorm out there where they're freezing their butts off and they got to be out there for 8, 10, 12-hour shifts. And they're getting pelted with snowballs because the governor or the mayor has turned them into the evil. And that's what they do. That's what they know. It's how they rile up the people to do things that would seem unimaginable. Just take your cop, your local cop, who's normally, your friend. If you live in a neighborhood, you got a cop, you know him, he's probably going to be friendly to you. You're going to be friendly to him. You're going to be happy to see him. You're walking home at night or whatever. You see him walking the beat and he's on your street. It's like, hey, glad to see you, man. Happy you're here because I'm safe knowing you're here. But that's not how they see it. These crazy, wacko, awfuls hate cops. And they're spawned to do it by the politicians. But folks, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. We got one more hour of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show coming up right after this break. We'll be right back.
You guys are awesome. You know that? You know how awesome you guys are? You're that awesome.
Oh, we know. Yeah, we know, Mark. Of course we know how awesome we are. Yeah.
I think you do Hansel better than you did Trump, man.
Yeah. I won't go
Am I
that far.
right?
I won't go that far.
Okay.
We are only going to take a
Man.
5-minute break for this, and then we'll go in.
Okay.
Okay. We do need to clear.
Okay, come into.
We do need to clear before the 5-minute mark so that I can transition for someone else to come on air. Okay. On that
Yeah, we need to
last
clear.
segment. Okay, because I have to drop one station. All right.
Everything
So-
after because is irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, you just need to know that because you don't normally do this hour, anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, but we don't care. It's just we need to
Like
clear.
old
So
times.
should we clear now? That'll give us plenty of time to get out at the end.
Oh, we're good. We'll be good to go.
I'm gonna get some water.
wanna do it
I'm
now?
gonna be right back.
Huh?
No,
Okay.
I'll wait a couple more minutes.
I'm
on,
gonna let
Blue.
this.
What
I'm
do you
gonna
want?
let this tick down a little more before I restart this call. Okay. So that
Okay.
you guys have enough time. I'll wait another minute. But thanks
you
everybody
got it
for
now. It's-
tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you out there. Damon DNS, Dota 2, and Roger and the Great Conspiracy. Roger and the Great Conspiracy are both restreaming us tonight. What a wonderful thing that is. Boxy's in there. He's in there with chat, as
All right.
well as who else we got? Trey Wiz in the Kick chat as well. Appreciate each and every one of you.
Hope
Get
you
some
will
shout
stick
outs, guys. Got my hands busy here with the clicks and checking all the other chats too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Look at this.
Actually, let's leave this room and I'll get the next one set up. All right.
Get Barry, are you here?
Here, man. Yeah, ready to go, dude.
Okay, hang up.
Yep. All right. We'll be right back with Hour 3, the special hour of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. And I'll bring that up in just a minute. Where we let Barry do some more talking. Haha. Normally we would have Jack Carey coming in around this time, but not tonight. Jack has some family problems and issues that he needs to take care of. So family first. Right, guys?
I understand completely. Yep.
Yep.
Oops. Hold on. I'll be right back.
You're in the room. You don't need the link. Okay, hold on, guys. Here we go. Oh, crap. Wasn't watching. Here we go. You ready, John?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Is
bring.
Barry here?
I don't know.
I'm ready. Yep.
I'm gonna bring us in.
I'm ready.
3,
Okay.
2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Hour 3 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Wednesday night edition, February 25, 2026. We've got Bullhorn Barry on the mic tonight. What's going on, Barry? What do you got for us?
I would start off the third hour by saying these are incredible and exciting times, trying times, difficult times, but exciting times. Why? Because it's an opportunity for us to rise to the challenge to become the legendary heroes that all of us in America are called to be. And so I'm excited, man, just to be a part of it. This is a part of history, no matter what. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, everybody's going to look back on this time. And I'm not sure exactly how they're going to look at it because, history really depends on who writes it. So maybe they'll look at it as a bad time, a good time. Who knows exactly? But if we win, they're going to look at all of us as the legendary heroes who stood up for sanity, who stood up for America, who stood up for the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, for freedom, for individual sovereignty, for national sovereignty, for peace and justice, and the American way.
Yes, absolutely. It's a beautiful time to be out here, and it's a beautiful time to be in radio because we are blessed with this giant audience that we get to speak to, 2 times a week for 2 hours each, or 5 hours this week of radio time where we get to sit down and explain what's going on in the world, talk about the news, talk about the lunacy, the insanity, and the craziness that's out there festering just under the surface, waiting to take hold and literally destroy this country if we don't stop it, if we don't fight back, if we don't do something about it. So we get the chance to be at that forefront when, your grandkids ask you, where were you during the great meme war of 2026? Say, son, I was on the front lines fighting for MAGA.
Yep. Very good. Absolutely, man. I mean, 2026 is going to be a year of struggle for sure. There's going to be a lot of battles that take place because both sides are, raising the stakes, so to speak. And neither side wants to lose. So each side is giving their absolute best. But it's also going to be a year of victories, and if we just stay in the fight like we have, it seems like the fight in us just seems to increase with each passing year. It seems like we're more resilient. It seems like we're stronger. It seems like we're bolder. It seems like we're less tolerant of the insanity, which I think is a necessary component if you want to win. You got to get tired of insanity if you're going to fight back. It's just that you've got to come to that point where you're like, I'm tired of this. This has gone on for too long. This state of limbo has got to come to an end, and we have got to take the conch back, take America back, reset it, and set it on a good course.
Absolutely. And we're not that far from being there. We're not. Like Trump said last night in the State of the Union, we were really on the wrong path, and we're getting back in the right direction now. The economy's going good. The government, I finally look, hey, there's a potential end for all time of income taxes in our lifetime. Could you imagine that? No more income tax?
It's crazy.
Income tax and death are the two certainties in life, and yet one of them might go away. How long until death is just optional?
Don't ask Elon Musk that because he thinks we're going to upload our consciousness. or whoever, all those transhumanists, man, those people are, they're nuts in my opinion, man. I would be happy if we could just, get to where we're actually trying to make it to where people live longer. Like say you're 95 or 100 and you can still do things. That would be amazing to me. And maybe 100 would be the average age that people died. That would be a great accomplishment. And I think that's within our reach, but not with all the devastating things they do to destroy our health. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing a great job trying to reset some of that. We can take a lot of that power back ourselves by changing things, but there's some things we can't change, that's just devastating to humanity. I mean, like if they are truly raining down chemicals on us, which, I believe the geoengineering's been ongoing for quite a while, then people are inhaling that. And that's nanoparticulate matter that passes the blood-brain barrier, and that's affecting people, and that's injuring people, harming people, killing people prematurely, a soft kill, if you will. So, but nobody's going to go out wearing a hazmat suit to stop that from happening. So there's some things you can't protect yourself from, and that's why I always say, man, put your faith in God, because God can do the miraculous. He can do the impossible, and that's what I'm leaning on Him during this crazy time. I encourage everybody to do the same. But hey, free will. Make your own choice.
Absolutely. It's getting wild out there, and there's not a lot of positive things sometimes. You just look at the news cycle, you look at everything going on, and it just gets so frustrating. And then there's these little moments that spark a little divinity and just spark a moment of hope. You see these things happen and you just have hope. You see Americans come together. You see the people of the world coming together and agreeing on certain fundamental things. And you realize we're not alone out there. It's the masses that are fighting back against a handful of the elites who have a vision of their world that they'd love to see, because guess what? In that vision, they get super, super rich. So you think they got money now? You wait until their version of the future takes hold. Where, everyone has no money and they've never been happier, no possessions. Oh boy. Wait until Amazon owns everything and you have to rent it from them. You want a pair of shoes for today? Boom. Order them up. They come there in 10 minutes, but you don't own them. You just rent them. You pay, $1 a day for your shoes or whatever it is, and now you got shoes. Unless you don't have $1 tomorrow, then guess what? You got no shoes. You can't just put on the pair of shoes you own. You have to rent it. Everything. Per diem for everything. So they're going to want to push this universal basic income on us. That's part of the big misconception, the scare, fear-mongering that they're doing about AI, is that we're going to demand, being so fearful of what AI could do to our jobs, that we're going to demand a universal basic income. And folks, it is a trap. Don't fall into that stuff. Don't fall into it. Life is going to be just fine. Think really hard about what your day-to-day life is like, what you do in your job, and ask yourself if a computer can just replace you completely. And the answer for so many people is no. I mean, if an AI computer calls me up to try to sell me something, you think you hang up on people quick? You know how fast you're going to hang up on a damn robot? Instantly. It's got no chance. Yeah. So I don't know, man. You look at so many jobs that are out there. Mechanics, all your manual work around the house. All the things you need on a day-to-day basis can't be replaced by a computer. You get a robot involved, then maybe some of them can, but that's a ways off before those start becoming, affordable and cost-effective. There'll be some elites who will be able to buy these robots that'll be really cool in concept. They'll be $30,000, and they probably won't do much of anything really. You think it's going to wash the dishes, you're wrong. It's a long ways off before it can wash any dishes or mow your lawn or any of that kind of stuff. But sure, is the day coming? Yeah. Can they make a dedicated, AI-based sort of machine that can go out and stay within the confines of a predetermined area that you tell them is your front lawn and mow it? Yeah, that's probably not far off. But just to automate the whole thing so one robot can go out and do everything you need on a day-to-day basis is a long, long way off. So, I don't know. Universal basic income, though, is another thing they're going to try to scare us into. And we need to stay away from that. You don't want it because it's going to be a slave sustenance survival money is what you're going to think of it as. Your basic minimal subsistence to survive.
Yeah, we'll own nothing and hate it, and they'll own everything and love it because their utopia is our dystopia. I mean, this is all a power grab, obviously. And we should be thankful that Trump is the president, right? Because he's bringing about some, economic stability, some prosperity. Because think about it. if your nation is not prosperous, you're going to spend all of your time just trying to survive and stay afloat. You're not going to have any time to peacefully protest, to stand up and demand accountability and transparency. I mean, the only reason the left was able to do it because they didn't have any jobs and they were all getting, handouts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they live very modestly. They don't really have anything concrete because, in their world, everybody gets leveled down to nothing. But they had enough money where they could eat food and they could go out and protest 7 days a week. That's why the left was so successful. They totally embraced this idea of leveling everybody down to nothing, which is just crazy because when that happens, like you're saying, the elite will have everything and we'll have nothing. They'll have everything and love it, and we'll have nothing and hate it. That's the Great Reset. That's the liberal world order. And I don't know how anybody would want that. I guess some people honestly do want to be slaves. That's just a fact. I mean, it's kind of like the girlfriend that keeps coming back to the guy that abuses her. Why does she keep going back to the same type of guy, knowing that he's going to enslave her, beat her, abuse her? Because at some level, she likes it. And that's the sick part.
Yeah.
So we got to wake people up to, hey, you don't want to be a slave. It's not a good world, okay? It's not going to be a happy place. But I've noticed one thing about like all of this craziness that's happened, all of the trials and the tribulations that we've been through, this giant, massive storm that just never seems to end. One thing I noticed that's really awesome is whenever I see something beautiful, like on YouTube or in person, somebody doing a true selfless act of kindness, right? Or an act of sacrifice. It strikes me in a way that it never struck me before. You know what I mean? I feel it. And I understand the importance of goodness and kindness and mercy and compassion and brotherhood. I understand it now at a greater level, having seen it kind of taken away from our society. So, I've found myself many times, I mean, I hate to put myself out there like this, make myself vulnerable, but I've shed many tears when I see something like that because we're so used to not seeing that kind of beauty. So I would say, hey, be that beauty in this ugly world, man. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to stand up and do the right thing. Don't go isolate yourself and lock yourself in your house just because you don't want to face people because people are obnoxious. No, you got to get out there and you have to be a light to this world. You have to set an example.
Absolutely. We need more people like that to set the example. It's too easy to just fall into the routines of life, and not go out there and just make a solid, concerted effort to be the change, instead of just watching it from the sidelines. Yeah,
there'll be less and less bench warmers as things become more intense because people will wake up. They'll say, well, I didn't know it was going to go this far. Well, I'm telling you ahead of time, it is going to go that far because these people are never going to relent until they're utterly defeated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. So let's talk a little bit about Mexico, I guess, right? We had basically, El Mucho or whatever, the cartel leader was assassinated, and the country went nuts. All of the cartels went crazy down there, blocking roads, setting buses, trucks, cars on fire, and basically locking everyone down in the city. And it's raging. It's still going on here several days later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people aren't even able to. American tourists can't even leave, dude. They're trapped there.
Yeah.
The flights are not going out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're in Puerto Vallarta and you were supposed to leave like Sunday afternoon or Monday night or something, you're still there. And a lot of them are freaking out. Even the leftists are out there begging for help from Trump. And they're like, come get us. We need to go home. This is your fault somehow. Because, America gave them some intelligence to help them and had been pressuring the government down there for a long time to start bringing their cartels under control.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're freaking out. They want out. They want home. Of course they do. It's got to be frightening to be stuck in Mexico in the middle of a revolution almost, where the cartels have controlled all the streets and you can't even get to the airport, which is 10 miles away. Frightening, horrifying.
I mean, they're being cut off, a lot of their drugs are not coming into America anymore. So they're losing a big source of income, right? So they're ticked off, basically. And this all goes back to, the paradigm shift that we talk so often about, man. We're in a massive paradigm shift. We're either going into the Great Reset or the Great Awakening. And right now, the Great Awakening has the upper hand because Trump's the president, and he's doing so many great things to basically stop the evil that has just basically had free run for God knows how long, man. I mean, the cartels have pretty much done whatever they've wanted to for so long, and many of the government officials are tied directly to them. They're bought off, paid off. I mean, the corruption is just, look, that day is coming to an end, okay? We're coming into a period where everything is going to change. Now, how long will it change for the good? I don't know. I mean, how long can we maintain that? That's the big question. I think we're going to win. I've said that 1,000 times over. The question is, once we win and once we have our ultimate victory, how big is our ultimate victory going to be? And how long before we drop the ball again? Will we forget, these enemies that can rise up at any time, at any moment? And now, if they do rise up at any time, at any moment, and ever take over, they have the full capacity now to rule and reign with an iron fist like never before because of technology. This is admitted by the WEF. This is admitted by all the top people that are globalists. They've all said, basically, that Hitler could not succeed because he did not have the technology of the day that we have today. That is why Hitler failed. But Hitler comes today, he can succeed because they can put everybody on the grid, man, and the AI can control everything. And that's the big fear. So we fight back and we win, but then we have to keep fighting because these people never really completely go away. Man, there's always throughout the course of history, at least that we know of, there's always been these types that want the ultimate power. You can go back to the biblical Tower of Babel, where they wanted this, one world order of power and control and hive mind. It's just something it's innate in bad people.
Yeah. And with what's going on in Mexico, I mean, you said the drug money is slowing down, but also the smuggling money, the coyotes. That was a multi-billion dollar a year, $100 billion a year enterprise, them smuggling people into the United States. And that is gone. That's 100% gone now. With the exception of maybe, I mean, there's still probably smuggling in a few people that it's $50,000 now, and they can only do X number a week. You know what I mean? It's nothing like what it was before, where there was $1,000 and they take all you can possibly send. If you send $1 million over, get $1,000 each, you're talking big money, Yep. So that's gone. But what they've also succeeded in doing is, you got to remember, spring break is right around the corner. We just saw Ash Wednesday when Lent is over. Suddenly it's Mardi Gras and spring break. That's right around the corner, folks. Who's going to take their family down to Mexico? If you've got kids that are planning their spring break, their high school or college spring break down in Mexico, and they're counting on mom and dad to, pick up the dime on that, I would not pay for my kid to go to Mexico right now, alone with 6 of his drunken friends. It's not going to happen. So they've already done so much damage to the economy in Mexico that it's shocking. This will cost them billions upon billions of dollars. I mean, Cancun, empty over spring break, unheard of. Puerto Vallarta, nobody's going to Puerto Vallarta anytime soon. I guarantee it. Jalisco, there's so many places down there that are, destinations that take in tens of thousands of tourists. You'd have to be insane to go there. I mean, if you want to go into Tijuana for the night, you're probably okay. But any further down than that, you don't do it. Don't do it. So it's devastating what this has done to the economy down there. And there's no coming back. There's no bouncing back. It'll take a long time before people will feel safe to go down there, especially when you're talking about bringing your family, when you could just as easily go to Costa Rica or, a bunch of other countries that are, heck, Jamaica, the Bahamas, any of those places are better options.
Yeah, I heard Ted Nugent talking to Alex Jones on InfoWars, and he was talking about how, Sammy Hagar, because he's got a place in Mexico, he's like, it's totally safe, man. Come on down anytime. And Ted's like, I don't think it's totally safe, man. And especially now, it's not really totally safe. But that's kind of, par for the course these days. There's a lot of areas that just aren't safe anymore, and I think that's got to be reversed. But don't mistake like this violence and this evil that's uprising as anything less, anything less than just desperation, because that's all it is, man. They're losing. The cartels are losing, and that's why they're acting that way. The globalists are losing, and that's why they're acting that way. We're winning. These are all signs that we're winning. The fact that they're acting out in such insane, crazy ways shows that the pressure is on and that they are losing. They don't have the power like they used to. They're losing it, and it's driving them mad. It's like the fish out of water, man. A fish out of water is just going to flop around, trying to just save itself somehow. But it can't, because it can't get any breath outside of the water. So that's what's happening. This is like, it's kind of like their last, the last attempt it's their Hail Mary. You know what I'm saying? They're just throwing it out there as if maybe this will help. They don't know what else to do. They're losing it all. What else? What do you do when you're losing it all? Just act insane. It's not reasonable. I mean, a fish on dry land, it's not acting reasonable when it's flopping around. That's not going to help any. That's not going to save it. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what we saw last night at the State of the Union, is them as a fish out of water, flapping around. I mean, they looked foolish. In front of the entire country, they refused to stand up for the Olympic team, for fallen, angel mothers, for dead kids. They refused to stand up and pay respect for just common sense things every American can agree on. Why don't you stand up and support and clap for the American team?
Dude.
It's because they like Trump. So what? So what? Rise above it. They're everybody's team. It doesn't just belong to MAGA.
Can you imagine how much the Democrats were writhing in pain and agony when they were chanting USA, 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 including the hockey team, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, just imagine how that just drove them nuts. I heard, I haven't seen it, but I heard Huffington Post and some other liberal outlet did their own little articles about the flag and how offensive it is. And if you are offended by the flag or people chanting literally USA, USA, that's normal. A lot of people are experiencing that now. No, it's called patriotism. It's called I love my country. It's called USA, USA, USA. But folks, I mean, they're so desperate. They're writing crazy articles like that, like saying, you should feel strange when someone has a flag, in their house, or wearing patriotic clothing, or, if you feel demoralized because of, how could you feel demoralized by patriotism? I mean, if you hate this country, get out. I said it a couple of weeks ago, man, get out. If you hate it, go. Trump will pay for your trip to leave.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of places. Canada's a great one. You'd love Canada. It's embracing socialism as hard as it can. It's leaning left as hard as it possibly can. It's falling apart. It may not exist in 5 years, but it's a great option if you really want to live like a lefty nutbag. Go right up to Ottawa, just move right in there, and they'll love you. They'll love you. They'll be so happy you came along and joined their ranks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, go to Russia. Just go right to the source. Go to China.
I think it's pretty cool, though, that I don't have to wear anything that says Trump or MAGA on it. All I have to do is wear patriotic stuff, and it'll get people upset.
Yeah.
Which I think really shows their true colors more than them getting upset over MAGA or Trump, because that could be viewed as political. But when you demonize the flag, which the flag's done no crime, it's committed no sin. We know exactly what the flag stands for. Even if America has failed to fully represent the flag itself and what it represents, it's flawless in what it represents. And admitting you literally hate America and you want to see it collapse and you want to usher in something else. Not going to happen. Yeah. Even Trump said during the first time at one of his State of the Union addresses, he said, hey, and I think he said it more than once, at like a couple of State of the Unions. He said, America will never be a socialist nation. And then they cut to Bernie Sanders' face and he just had that look of, man, this really sucks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I don't really want socialism. I want democratic socialism. It's totally different. Totally different. Completely different thing. Democratic socialist. That's just a joke. It's I don't know. What do you get to vote once? If you vote for socialism, then that's it. You voted for socialism. That makes it democratic socialism. You never get to vote again. That's pretty much the way it always works. Whenever you instill a totalitarian system into place, you never get to vote again. You know? So Maduro is still in office after all these years. Boy, he won every election, didn't he? You know? Flying colors.
Right.
And I'll tell you, if you're down there, like I think it was Dominion that was located down there, and you're trying to sell your vote counting machines to a guy like Maduro, let's just say you damn well better have a back door on that thing, because he ain't going to buy the legit one. He ain't putting no legit vote counting systems in place.
You know, I would suggest, and this is just, a suggestion and an idea, theory. I'm not saying it's foolproof. What I tend to think that Trump is pretty strategic with a lot of the things that he does, a lot of the moves that he makes. And we're coming on the 250th anniversary of America, the celebration of the birth of America. Man, I'm thinking right before that happens, he's going to do some really powerful power moves. Maybe some arrests, maybe some indictments. And then we go into the 4th of July, not just stoked, but completely stoked and completely on fire, and drive the liberals completely insane. I see it happening, man. And so let's just say here for the record, I think something like that's going to happen. Now, it might not be arrests, but he's going to make some very powerful moves just prior. I mean, it just makes sense. If you're strategizing, that's what you would do. And Trump is a strategist, no question about it, dude. I mean, even when it comes to when he strikes a nation, he's a strategist about it. He pulled back 5 times, from what I heard, before he actually struck, in Venezuela to capture Maduro. He's always strategist. He's always, looking at, how is this going to work best? Let's do this then. Let's hold off for now. It's going to make some of our base angry, but it's going to make them even more excited when we deliver in a more timely fashion. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, I would love to see like 50 mugshots come out on the 4th of July. Boom, here's all of them. Just everybody you've ever dreamed about seeing arrested. Just Bill Gates, here's just mugshot after mugshot on the 4th of July. And why not? Joe Biden set the precedent. He did it to Trump. It's fair game now. You guys make the rules. He's just playing by the rules you set. With Letitia James and all those scam trials that Donald Trump had to sit through. Make them all sit through those. Why not? I don't even care at this point. I don't even care. Although it'd be very damaging to the country. But, I say I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's probably a bad idea to do that. But, they made the rules, folks. They made the rules. Let them live by them.
But, we talk about positive things. I mean, I think there's a lot of positive things happening, man. It's not all doom and gloom for certain. And I think we're going to see more and more victories in 2026. At the same time, be prepared for chaos, because the left is going to do some crazy stuff to try to sabotage Trump and MAGA and America from having victories. That's just a given. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've got almost 10 years of history of that now, of them doing just that. Trying to sabotage Trump, trying to sabotage MAGA, trying to sabotage America. Actually, more than 10 years, really, if you think about it, because it was beginning, pretty much right away when Trump announced that he was running. They went right after him, man. And it was going on against America before that. I mean, Obama was pretty much as anti-American as you can get, man. I mean, he was working basically with Al-Qaeda. He would warn them, we're going to strike you guys here, on this day at this time. And by the time they struck, they were gone. Who does that?
He cut that deal with Iran to give them nuclear weapons and pallets of cash. And in return, he got a few hostages back. And the hostages were like, we were sitting out there on the runway, and all of a sudden this plane came in, American plane, dropped off pallets of what looked like cold hard cash, and then it took us away. It was a cash drop to buy the hostages back,
and they
which
put
is never
in their
ever
place.
done by the U.S.
Big problem with that.
government. I mean,
big problem
openly
with that.
done.
like any other septic
That
system.
time they
You can't
openly
put
did it.
toilet paper and all that
And,
stuff
you
into
know,
those
set the
toilets
stage
because it
for
will
what we're
back
dealing
up.
with today.
So right now,
You know,
I
so
think
many
they said
years
there's
later, with
maybe
Iran still being a
1/4 of the
problem,
ship's toilets
that
are
needs to be taken
functional,
care of.
and they're barely
And,
functional, and the rest are
you
not
know, if you
functional
don't
at
take
all.
care of it now, then you just
And the
leave it
problem
for
is these
your
guys
kids
have
to
been
do
put out
in
there for
a
one
generation when it's
friggin'
that much
year
harder.
trying to
And how
use
many more
this
lives
new
have been lost in the process, you know?
bathroom system that they had put into play.
Yeah, I mean that was
And
the
again, you know, our
the
Secretary
Biden
of the
thing.
Navy, they
That
friggin'
Biden
knew that when that
Afghanistan
ship
debacle
deployed.
was.
That's why I said
I mean, that pretty
they're
much
playing.
tanked
Somebody's
his,
playing a game. I mean,
possibility
right
of
now
probably
we
winning if
have
he had
we have all of our
actually,
top
ran. I
jet
mean,
fighters over
even with
there,
him
but
being
they're
able to
all
cheat a
sitting
little
on an
bit, he
air
couldn't
base
have
that's
won.
like
I mean, that
900
was
miles away
such a
from
debacle, man.
Iran. Big problem
Such
because they
a
have to
literally,
refuel every
giving them
300
everything,
miles.
giving them
Well, guess what?
weapons,
There's
and
no refueling tankers over there.
I mean, just basically
So
empowering
again,
them
something's
and
going on.
rescuing them and leaving Americans. Again, it's all just demoralization. Obama did it. Biden did it. It's all to get you to hate yourself, hate America, to feel demoralized, to quit and give up. But it actually had the opposite effect, man. We rose up, man. And that's what happens when you're challenged. When you are challenged, one of two things happen. One, you basically roll over and admit defeat, or you rise to the challenge. And believe me, we've been through the shamdemic together. We've been through so much together. We have risen to the challenge time and time again. And they know that we're never giving up now. That's why they're so desperate. That's why they're doing so much crazy stuff, is because they know that their opponent, us, we the people, will never relent and never give up and roll over. They've tried to do everything they can to get us to roll over, because that's their only move they have to actually defeat us, is for us to capitulate. They're not in the power. They're not in the position to actually overtake us. The only way they can do it is through demoralization and to get us to give up. But it's had the opposite effect. We're more awake, more empowered than ever before. That's the good news. Keep up the fight, folks.
Keep up the fight. That's right. And, don't get too, that's the thing, right? On the left, they've got the Trump derangement syndrome, their hatred of America. On our side, we really just have our love of country, and we're rooted in foundations. Yep. There's no hatred in my blood for anyone that's motivating any of my positions politically. It comes from a place of love across the board. Do I want to see America change and taken over? No. I mean, we push back against certain levels of immigration, especially from certain countries, because it's just it's a way that it's a fast track to change the country completely. And our love of country makes us want to stand up and speak out about that, so that it doesn't come true, so that we can still have a country that resembles America to some degree or another, that we can leave to our kids and their kids and so on and so forth. And I don't mean it has to be white. I don't mean it can't be majority Hispanic or whatever, as long as it's based in, Christian values that adhere to the Constitution, and, it's good. Heck, I'll take Buddhists. I can live with Buddhists. I can live with Hindus. I can live with just about every religion on this planet. I have no problem with any of them, as long as they respect other religions and are willing to work and live together to make America a good, wonderful place to be. If they want to dominate, if anyone wants to dominate over the others, start charging taxes if you're not part of their system, to implement their own system of government that would supersede the Constitution of the United States, the greatest constitution, the greatest document that was ever written to advise people on how to govern themselves freely and fairly, then no, I'm against it. I don't have anything against trans people. We talk about trans a lot. Nothing against, we say it all the time. If you're trans and you want to live that life, go for it. Just don't shove it down the kids' throats, because that's not fair. That's not fair to do that to a little kid. So no, we have love. We come from a place of love and a place of logic and a place of,
reason,
positive reason. Exactly. Reason. Not just as devoid hatred for Donald Trump, where you hate anything he does no matter what, and you're always going to take the other side no matter what. That is not logical. At some point, a broken clock is going to be right, 2 times a day. And you have to admit that about Trump. At some point, he's going to be right about something, even if you hate the guy. There's going to be something he does that you have to really sit back and say, you know what, I don't hate that. That's actually kind of a good thing. I did it with Biden. I admitted when Joe Biden did things I, thought was actually good for the country. It was rare, but he did do some things that I thought were good for the country, and I gave him credit for them. It's just the way it is. I never had Biden derangement syndrome. I just thought the guy was senile, and he wasn't really the best choice for the president of the United States. I think I was right, but I didn't hate the guy. I hated the press for what they were doing, trying to cover it up.
I mean, when he got cancer and it was announced, nationally, I went to X, and I'm not saying there weren't some people on the right that said some bad things, but I didn't see any, man. You know what I'm saying? But when something bad happens to Trump or somebody on the right, it's every single Democrat on X celebrating it, man. It's a big difference between them and us, man. And I think we should be able to take some pride in that we have taken the high road.
Yeah, I just saw an article the other day that said, Biden's really, this inner circle is very, very concerned. He's his cancer is spreading aggressively, and it's not looking good at all. And I didn't take one iota of joy in that. Not even close. I took great sadness in hearing that. I think it's horrible. There's a lot of pain. A lot of people are going to be hurt, and it's just not a good thing when, somebody has advanced cancer, for crying out loud. To celebrate that is sick. You're sick in the head if you even come close to doing anything resembling a celebration of that horrific type of thing.
Yeah. And in a weird way, the left has taught us what we don't want to be, by being so obnoxious. We're like, whoa, we can't do that at all, not even remotely, because you see how ugly it is coming from them. Then you realize that even doing a little bit of it is ugly, So they've kind of woken us up to even a higher degree. So thank you, left, for doing that. But let's segue into that clip of the Muslim mob that was celebrating, the very idea that they're going to take over, and that's their goal.
We've got about 3 minutes before we have to take a break. So if it'll fit in there, we can play it now. If not, we'll do it right when we come back.
I mean, it's like 30 seconds. So here we go, folks.
Okay. Yo, make some noise for the mother warrior right now, baby. MashaAllah, yeah. Takbir! Oh, don't scare them, brothers. Relax. They're over here on purpose to be like, oh my God. Who's seen those videos where they're like, oh my God, the Muslims are taking over New York City? You seen those? You seen those? Let them know that we are taking over New York City. Takbir! Oh my God.
Man, I almost want to go, Kia-sama!
That guy gave that speech in Times Square. Yeah.
That's some Keir Starmer stuff right there, man. That is insane. And you heard the crowd cheering it, man. I mean, it's a large crowd of people, man. This is not a small...
Thousands and thousands of Muslims were there, yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, I mean, the thing of it is, look, a lot of people listen to the mainstream media. They don't hear or know any of this stuff. And when we talk it, they go, oh, he's making stuff up. No, we play clips. We can't play everything. We don't have the time. But folks, we're not misleading people when we tell you things that this took place or that took place. We have the videos, we have the documents, we have the evidence, and we show it to you as much as we possibly can, but we can't play it all, obviously. You need to get off the mainstream media because you're never going to be told the truth. And the biggest lie is the lie of omission. It's what they don't tell you that matters the most. And that's the biggest and the worst kind and the biggest and most deceptive kind of lie. And so never forget that. It's what they don't tell you. That's what makes it the worst kind of lie. So they just tell you what they want you to know to formulate, a narrative, so to speak, and that you go along with said narrative, and they don't want you doing any research. Remember during the shamdemic, all the mainstream media was saying, oh, don't do any research. Don't think for yourself. Trust the authorities. I mean, just literally telling us to shut off all critical thinking. No longer think for ourselves. Just be a drone and a robot, which is exactly what the globalists and the left want. They want a hive mind, an obedient hive mind that basically obeys their narrative.
Yep. The science is settled. Trust the science. Those
there you go.
Are the two most unscientific things you could possibly say. The science is never settled. Science, by its definition, is never settled. And you never trust the science. You always question the science, period. That's what science is. Science is the process of questioning the truth, questioning what you know. That is what science is. But folks, we've got to take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we are on radio break. Thank you. I didn't know if you got to see to take a break at the 40-minute mark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it took a little doing, but I figured out how to see. Yeah.
But that works out good for tonight, doing it that way. Gives you a little bit more time, to actually get out that last push.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And now we only have 10 minutes more to do, so we're all good.
Makes it quick and easy.
All right, Barry.
Man, that was a pretty
You
terrifying
gotta
clip.
come up with a...
After hearing that clip again, I didn't realize just how terrifying that sounded, because I had the headphones on. So getting that in stereo, right? Hearing that chanting, we're taking over. That was super. I wonder how people must have responded to that. It's got to be somewhat terrifying if you've never heard anything like that before. Am I wrong?
Get down.
Am I wrong or am I right?
Down.
Oh, you're right.
Down.
I mean, had you heard that clip before? Pick one.
I've heard that
John.
clip before.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But even hearing it again, I mean, weren't you kind of like, whoa, dude, that's very it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, business,
And they've got a
man.
mayor
They
in
literally,
office,
well, they got their guy. That's right.
Yeah. That's the thing. They're actually in power right now. So, once they get in power, boom, you'd watch how fast they start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At least Sadiq Khan has been kind of subtle about it,
Well, we can hope that he goes all the way in because that will fully expose everything and wake more people up. So I think it's a good thing if he does. I mean, it'll be worse for him temporarily. It'll be worse for all of us probably temporarily, but it'll be best for us in the long run if he just basically shows his true hand and doesn't basically, restrain himself. And I think that's why Trump was trolling him, saying, "Oh, I think he's going to be a great mayor." I mean, that's the ultimate troll. People got so upset on the right about him saying that. People don't understand Trump at all, man. You can't take every single thing Trump says as, gospel truth. Is that he's saying this, out of sincerity? It's a troll,
Yeah.
People crack me up. And what better way to disarm a person, by acting like you're their friend? It's classic stuff, man. It's just classic Trump.
Yeah.
Because you wait till New York City starts to completely collapse. Trump will be right in there to point it out, which will just prove exactly everything I'm saying right now.
Yeah. And he stands to lose a lot of money in that scenario,
Oh, yeah.
How much real estate does he have in that city?
I've seen a whole bunch of videos of people that live in New York City showing what it looks like now. And there's trash everywhere. There's people remember how you were talking about how they're doing all those shady deals?
30 seconds, stuff. Guys.
They're back to doing that again, dude. And it's just like blocks of just fraudulent, merchandise that they're selling.
All right, what are we leading with?
Charlie, Erica,
and
Kirk,
here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 3 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show special Wednesday night edition, 3-hour edition. Standing in for Jack tonight, who had some personal issues that didn't allow him to be here tonight. But don't worry, Jack, we've got your back, and we've got some interesting stories to talk about as well. Bullhorn Barry on the mic. Why don't you lead us in with crazy wacko nut job Candace Owens and what she's up to now?
I mean, I think it's just another case of conspiracy madness where, you get so addicted to the clicks and the popularity that comes from, getting some nugget or jewel of insight that eventually you just start making stuff up. Because, if you're a good BSer, you can basically make the dots say just about anything to somebody that's not very smart and they'll buy it, So I don't know exactly she's selling these days because I can't listen to her because she's just so far out there. But apparently she has a new documentary series coming out, and it's called The Bride of Charlie. It's sort of a take on The Bride of Chucky. You know, Chucky, the little demonic redheaded doll, which is a terrible name, you know. And it's got a picture of course, Erica Kirk plastered in the center, off to the right and off to the left, you know, with her and Charlie. And, you know, what started out for her is just, you know, trying to, you know, find out how Charlie died is now turned into just an all-out assault and attack on Erica Kirk. I don't know what she's exactly saying. I've heard she's like accusing her of possibly being behind part of it. I don't know if that's true or not, because I can't watch it, man. I mean, she's just so far out there. But I think that's probably true. And she's got a trailer out, you know. You can see it on X. I can't play it here because I don't have it on my phone. But you can go to X, just type in Candace Owens, Bride of Charlie, if you want, if you can bear it, because it's so obnoxious, man. I mean, this whole conspiracy madness thing is something that we need to be aware of, because she used to be kind of, you know, grounded in reality, right? She used to kind of be, you know, have good insights about things. You know, she was very sane in her reasoning, and, you know, was making big contributions. She was on InfoWars a lot of people were inviting her on, and then she kind of had a falling out, I think, with Ben Shapiro, and ever since then it's just kind of been this downward spiral.
Yeah, and she did that tour for a while with Charlie Kirk, and she was, like you said, pretty rational and all that. But at what point does Erica Kirk just get out the lawyers and just sick them? Go get them, dogs. You know, rough, go sue. It's insane. Was she like secretly in love with the guy or something, and she's super jealous of her, you know, ex or widowed wife? Or it's insane. I don't know what it is. Her hatred of Jews in general is pretty sickening. There's, you know, a lot of that, and she spawned and bought into that group, pandering to them to try to get their clicks and their money. And not a good look, but hey, to each their own. If that's the route you want to go down in life, that's fine. But leave Charlie Kirk's wife out of it, right? You want to go after the people at TPUSA, really fine, whatever. When you start going after Charlie's wife, you know, his widow, that's disgusting.
And they were supposed to be really good friends. Her and Charlie were like buddies, you know. She said that over and over and over again. And so I don't think that Charlie would be approving of her attacking his former wife. That's just my opinion. And look, I said, you know, if she has some sort of reveal that just is totally concrete and she can prove there's some sort of connection, then I'll just eat crow. I have no problem with that, man. You know, I am ultimately just about the truth. Okay. That's all I care about. But I haven't seen that coming from her lately, man. I mean, she's just been kind of all over the place, making up stories. A lot of people then went and fact-checked a lot of the things she said, and it was totally fabricated to one degree or another. And so, you know, people like her remind me a lot of like Nick Fuentes. You know, they're shock jocks. And, you know, just hearing her voice and her tone now, it reminds me of like, you know, Jerry Springer or something like that. It's not even, I don't even consider it legitimate. You know, her big talking points that I know of recent is this whole Erica Kirk thing, and then of course there was the Macron's wife being a dude. I mean, that's pretty much what she's bringing to the table, and I think there's bigger issues than that right now. Yeah, that at least was kind of funny. I mean, okay, you know, it's ridiculous, but at least it's kind of, we can all sit and kind of laugh about it. But when you're going after Erica Kirk, there's nothing funny about it. Yeah, we laughed about it on air, and it was funny for a while. I mean, but not long. Mm-hmm. We didn't like hyper focus on it, you know. No. We were just like, maybe, what if, you know. It's more tongue in cheek though than like literal. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny. It's because it was so ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just silly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna like treat it like a real news story. We brought it up on the show because it was making headlines, but it was also ridiculous, and we treated it as such. We didn't bring it up and be like, oh, wow, breaking news, Macron's wife is actually a man. I mean, that would be ridiculous. That would be silly. It'd be stupid. Yeah, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and the ilk, they're basically tabloid news, sensationalism to get the clicks. That's what I think, and it's a little bit of conspiracy madness in there as well, because, you get that gold nugget every once in a while, and you found something that nobody else found, and you go viral because of it, and you're kind of heralded as this, I don't know, Yoda or something, and you get addicted to that. And so you just go, well, let's connect some other dots. Even though they don't really connect, I'll make them connect, and I'll keep those clicks going, keep that buzz going, that dopamine rush that I get from people thinking that I'm actually super insightful. David Icke is another example, in my opinion. He thinks he knows it all. Nobody else knows. He's constantly bashing every person that's in the alternative media as if they know nothing, and only he has the esoteric knowledge. I totally bash him constantly when he does these kinds of things on X. And bash him, logically and with reason, but I'm firm because the guy is obviously a divider and a big time deceiver, man. He's not any more based in reality than Candace is, or even Nick Fuentes, man, because he just says the most absurd stuff, like comparing Trump to the deep state. Okay. Literally saying he's one and the same as Biden. That's not based in reality. There's just no evidence of that. Is he imperfect? Yes. So if he said that or he criticized Trump in areas where he was wrong or maybe needed to change, I would get that totally. I'd support him in that. But they don't. They go all in with their conspiracy madness. And David Icke, in my opinion, is a perfect example of that, conspiracy madness. It's, the whole reptilian overlord thing. It's just in overdrive. I like to call them the reptilian overlords myself, but tongue in cheek, because it's funny, because they act like that. They might as well be aliens, reptilian, demonic aliens from another planet, because that's how evil they are. But I'm not serious about it. I don't really believe they're shapeshifters.
Mm-hmm. I think they'd pick a better body than they did if they were,
Yeah, why would they want Macron or Klaus Schwab, for goodness sake, man? That guy hasn't exercised in 100 years, because he's at least 150.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're a shapeshifter, you wouldn't be like, I want the Charles Schwab body, please. Thank you very much.
You're going to get Arnold Snorts. I can't even say his name. You're going to get the Arnold of the 80s. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be buff.
Yeah.
You're going to be bad.
Yeah, right?
You're not going to get Schwab.
Rambo all day.
Yeah, you're going to possess a body that is at least, in good shape and something you can be proud of. Okay.
Yeah. I saw, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I saw Men in Black 3, and they had that alien that was that like super hot, dark-haired woman. You'd go with something like that.
Yeah, if you're going to do the female one, right?
I would.
Well, because
I'd
she's going to have. Well, she's going to have that seductive power to influence, people, seduce them with her reptilian power. But you can't do that if you look like Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Who apparently is slithering back into the United States for a little while to kind of see if it's safe. She wanted to check the border and see if she'd even get in.
I got that, slithering like a reptile.
Yep.
That was good, man. I caught that. See how clever I am?
Yeah, it's interesting though to see her back in the United States. Who else did we just have that came back? It was Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, what's up with
came
that?
Back to the United States. They're all, if Trump wins, we're going to leave, and then they leave, and they're like, yeah, let's just go back. It's way better in L.A. than Toronto. You just do one winter in Toronto, and you're like, oh, I kind of miss L.A.
Yeah. Sure. Good old
So, Barry,
Rosie.
we got about 45 seconds left before we got to wrap up. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, come and visit me on X, and it's Bullhorn Barry, man. You'll be able to find me. Post there. I got articles, videos, you name it, clips from the show, etc.
Et cetera, folks. Don't miss out. You can find me over at my favorite site in the world, minds.com, minds.com/censorship sucks. Got a big following over there. I've been over there for, 8 years now, and really enjoy that site. It's been nothing but good to me. But, folks, we are all out of time. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned. There's much more coming from Dragus Productions right after this, but we got to wrap up the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show, and we will see you on